starts. Okay, it says that we're live. Hi. Hey, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Hey, okay. All right. We need our production team to tell us. Can everybody hear us? Can everybody see us? I'm like watching the chat go.
Hi, everyone. I don't know if it's live streaming to mine.
I can see 50. I can see the number is starting to come on. And can everyone see us? Hello. Hi. Can you guys see you can see the chat though?
Yes.
I can see the chat.
I can see the chat.
Perfect.
And how do we sound? Do we sound good? Yes. Okay.
We sound okay. Hey, hi Justin. Hey guys. Hi Sierra.
Justin.
Hi. Oh my gosh, as the stream is on. Yes, we need the Falzon bump today for sure. Hi Tornado. Hi MK. Hey Get Crunk. Yay. I'm like, oh, I love seeing names that I know. That makes me so happy.
Yeah. Oh, good. Thank you, Crunk. Thank you. Yeah, some of y'all are getting me twice today. Look at that.
It's their lucky day. Absolutely.
Hey, your screen just got pretty. Hey, what do y'all think about the redhead, the brunette, and the blonde? Are y'all thinking Charlie's Angels or
now we just got to do the pose or
oh my gosh, right. Oh, I love Lucy.
What's the pose?
It's this one, right?
Do the pose. Someone will take a screenshot.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
The haters will say that
oh my goodness.
Photoshop. I love it. That's so funny.
The witches from Hocus Pocus.
Hi guys. Oh my gosh. Hi mods. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm like, I love seeing names that I know go by. It's perfect. That's so perfect. Hey everybody. Welcome
in. Happy Friday, everyone. Oh my gosh, we made it.
We made it.
So I just wanted to say thank you, first of all, to Allie and Rio for joining me today. You guys, these ladies are some of the smartest investigators. They are some of the smartest investigators that are on this thing. And so my feeling has been that, as you guys know, we want this to be a crowdsourced thing. It's going to take all of us. And so I figured getting a couple folks who all care about solving this in the same place at the same time to talk about how the case is going, what's going on, share ideas, and then make a point to explore new things that are happening. Some of us have different ideas of, what this might be, what that might be. That's all good, because when you're investigating something as big as this, then you really do have to talk to each other, especially because the kind of knowledge that everybody has and the kind of things that people have looked into, it often is different, right? So Rio, for example, Rio is an attorney. So she has that actual lens of being able to look at everything and say, hey, has anyone noticed this? Which she literally did that last night. That's why she went live this morning, right? How is that possible? Right. And Allie is someone that I have known and looked up to as an investigator for this entire time. She has found so many pieces of information. She's seeing around corners, and she's so aware of all of these detailed pieces of information that are super crazy and need to be talked about more. So I was like, let's get
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me always. Of course.
And nice to meet you, Rio.
Oh yes, Allie. Nice to meet you finally in person. I've known you for a long time, but you haven't known me, so I feel like kind of a
well. Now I do.
Over here.
Now you're a force to be reckoned with.
Oh my goodness. This is a good instance in which you should meet your heroes because it didn't disappoint.
Exactly. And we all have, different stuff to add to the case. And also this week was insane. This week was just so crazy with how so many things happened. And so I was like, okay, I could either get them on a group call, or we could just actually do this as a live stream and actually be able to look through information, talk about information, because information sharing, I think, is really, really vital. And also having other people's brains put on some of the information, that each of us already have, it is so, so, so beneficial. So we're like, okay, let's do it. Yay. I love it. Yeah, right. Hearts in the chat.
Thanks for all the love in the chat, you guys. Really, I wish I could individually go through here. Thank you all. It's just
it's nice. And we count on our mods, but we will try to keep an eye. I feel like there's 3 of us. So we should, someone can look at the chat kind of all the time,
Yeah.
There, guys.
Someone can.
You guys should have seen on my live stream.
I can't look at the chat because I'm trying to look at other things and make sure everything's fine on my end. But totally. I have my partner, he's looking at the chat, and I have lots of great mods. I see them in there.
Yay.
So they're in there. They're on your side too. They're flipping back and forth.
I love it. I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
I'm beyond thrilled. And yes, the other day when I could not look at the chat, because when I'm on here by myself, it's harder a little, it's hard to look at the chat all the time. And it was like 4 minutes of me being on the wrong screen. So that was absolutely perfect. But we soldier on.
Or like when you mute yourself, like I've done that so many times where I mute myself by accident.
Yes.
The tech is the hardest part. We really need a production team, but together we are a force.
The joint production team.
I've only cried a couple times with the tech, and I almost threw it all out, but I didn't.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and so we wanted to talk about, we're going to kind of focus on this week, ideally, but we'll go into background and all of that good stuff. Allie, who is amazing, has actually she has some visuals and stuff like that we can go through. We love it here. It is so helpful. And Allie, you just tell me whenever you want me to put it on the stage.
Yeah,
but
whenever you're ready, whatever you want to start with first, like if it's the autopsy
or
whatever you want.
I just saw this comment go by, Allie. Can you turn up your mic just a little bit?
My mic? Oh, I'll just go closer to it.
There you go.
How's that? Can you hear me now?
That's a lot better, actually.
Okay.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, as we get into formation
I'll
again.
Just talk louder.
That's perfect. You know what I hope to start with? I wanted to start with some of the stuff that Rio was talking about this morning, because we do have just a new data point that's out there. And I think that, these we'll go through the updates, but I'm we have one from this morning, literally. So why don't we, make sure that we don't forget to talk about that? Because to me, it feels relevant enough that it's something that, people should be aware of. And that I think is weird. And I think that all of us and all of you guys are going to think that it's a little bit weird too. So do you want to tell them what you had found?
Absolutely. The TLDR or TLDL didn't listen. So I was going through things, and you know what I noticed is that the doctor, I want to call him Gupta or Guadalajara, Guardo. Dr. Guardo is his name. He was the medical examiner. I was looking into his history a little bit. He actually graduated from a medical school that's located in Valhalla, New York. So he is now dubbed Dr. Valhalla by me.
Yes.
Also interesting, Valhalla is a small little hamlet it's about 30 miles north of New York City. I want to say it's Mount Pleasant is where it's at. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, it's actually known for a cemetery where they have buried a lot of famous people. So I think that's kind of strange. Eerie. I don't know where coincidence stops at this point anymore. Right. And then the other thing that I thought was pretty relevant was he was issued his New York medical license, so to practice in New York. And remember, at the time, he's just in Utah, about 3 weeks before Charlie died. So there, you could reasonably say, well, they were anticipating a move because his wife was going to take a job at NYU. Okay. But I do think that's quite odd that he had it issued 3 weeks before, so back in August, and he didn't even get appointed medical examiner in New York until the very 1st of March. So to me, if I'm looking at it through a critical lens, was this to ensure that he was an out-of-state witness by the time the preliminary hearings rolled around? And so, yes, while there's a reasonable, logical explanation, there's also this case and what we're looking at. And it is just odd to me that the number of experts or, anybody who touched Charlie, saw Charlie, was there, could opine with an expert opinion, had firsthand knowledge, really, was not at the preliminary hearing. It is just the wildest thing to me. So essentially, that's kind of what I covered this morning in greater length, but certainly interesting point to me. Oh, and I will say this. I said that Kash Patel had said, "See you in Valhalla," at Charlie's memorial. It was actually just a couple days after Charlie passed away. I think somebody clarified.
It was at the press conference, wasn't it?
It was at the press conference.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Another thing I noted this morning was odd is like, there's no problem referencing mythology, like Norse mythology. But when you're talking about a Christian man who has died, it is a little odd to me that he would come out saying anything other than heaven, God, Christ.
Yeah.
Saying I'll meet you in Valhalla is, it's just a weird timing. I think it's inappropriate.
I have also heard that it means like a code word, like I'm okay, you're okay, or something like that. I've heard a military guy say that, but I don't know.
Right. I mean, the way that they, the thing that I keep running into is that even if, we can look at the situation and say, oh, I'm sure they didn't mean this, Masonic symbolism or whatever the case may be. We can be like, oh, come on. But you know what the thing is? They believe in those things. It's not us saying, oh, this is clearly, this is all about this symbolism and blah, blah, blah. Well, they believe in a lot of those things. And so that, for me, increases the actual relevance of that, symbolism, because oftentimes it's not going to be stuff that makes sense to us, but if it's relevant to them in their individual lives, then, and it was right after they did the, I believe that it was the same press conference when Kash Patel said, I'll see you in Valhalla, brother. That was the one that they announced with the 33 hours and with the, catching Tyler Robinson. And I'm just like, guys, like, are you trying to actually, signal someone something, or is it possible that you're trying to just make it seem like you're signaling someone? And either of those possibilities are not great. It's not great for federal law enforcement, right?
Yeah. And throughout this whole thing, I've really started to realize how disgusting it is that they've been doing this forever, not just the people we're involved with right now, but publicly saying things and probably laughing behind our backs that they are signaling to others like, hey, we just got away with this. Look at it in broad daylight. We can say whatever we want. And also, it's probably why they think, oh, the crazier the story sounds, the more credibility we have, because who's going to believe that? It makes me ill.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty sick. I will also mention, so Mount Pleasant is located in White Plains. So that's where the Valhalla, it's a little hamlet. Think of it like a little town. I have family from that area. That's why I'm kind of familiar with it. Think of it just like a little town that is located in the area of Mount Pleasant and the actual geographic area of White Plains. White Plains, interestingly, is one of the airports where Air Mima flies a lot. So if we're thinking about, is this area relevant to any of the characters in our story? And yes, I will be calling her Air Mima. My lovely, amazing mod, Nash, came up with Air Mima, and I am taking that forever. Thank you. But they fly to that White Plains location, which is right at Valhalla, all the time. And so it's just another interesting little data point. It is a nice enough area, that part of Mount Pleasant. It's a nice enough area that it is normal, but there are private jets that do fly there. But it's not such a wealthy area that you would expect for, I don't know that Mima has a home there. It's nice, but I don't know if it's Mima nice.
Right.
And so things to think about for sure.
And that's an interesting point that you bring up about maybe it being like a private land strip there. Last week, was it last week or this week, whenever you and I were talking a lot about, the patterns we were seeing, there is also a pattern that I know about, because there are a lot of private airstrips and such. If you are very wealthy, or you just don't want to deal with the regular commuters, that are flying everywhere. Yeah. You fly into Van Nuys, or, you fly into
California. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Right. That's a great point. So, so White Plains is a commercial airport. So there's, I'm not to get actually sorry, but
actually, if you're trying to get around New York City, JFK.
Right. So
Yeah.
usually, so for White Plains specifically, that one is technically a commercial airport. So people can fly there, yes. But it's a wealthy enough area that you will see private jets just happen to go there, but it's one of the larger ones. Now, for the general aviation ones, that's what you're saying when you're saying private airfield, like usually that's going to be a general aviation airport, and that means that they don't have any commercial traffic. So you can fly into White Plains, just, you know, you can book a flight there, but it's interesting that they go there, given that if they were going to the city, then the general aviation airport is Teterboro, is the one that usually is used if you're going into the city itself. That's just a usually. That's where we would expect to see it. So it's a little off. There's that one. There's Stewart, which is upstate. So I think of White Plains and Stewart as kind of where the rich people go to upstate New York, as in by like the Clinton Foundation and all of, you know, like up to where they live. So, you know, if something weird was going to be taking place, then I think, to me, you know, if we're talking about symbolically weird, upstate New York is somewhere where, like, no offense to upstate New York, like I said, I literally have family there, but you know, if we were thinking like, you know, Bill and Hillary level craziness, then we'd be thinking upstate New York, for me anyway.
Yeah. And and you're talking about upstate New York now, but you know, it's not lost on me that the Hamptons are not that far of a drive either from that general area.
Yes. And when they go there, so generally speaking, there's only one airport down on Long Island, which is where the Hamptons are, that is long enough that is going to be able to handle those size of jets. So there is one that's out there. But you know what a lot of these really, really super rich people do that they love to do? They'll go to White Plains, Teterboro, whatever, and then they catch a helicopter. And that's like the hot thing to do. To take your helicopter, like Bill Ackman's house, he has a helipad. Not me, like looking like his, you know, yeah, of course he does, right? And so then and if they're removing something that, so like if they were moving, depending on what they were interested in bringing out there, there's a lot of like things like weight restrictions on helicopters. So would be hard to have too many individuals on there. You can't bring like gold bars on a helicopter, like just wouldn't make sense, right?
Right.
But depending on what it was or who or how many who's you were trying to take out to the Hamptons, you could do it by helicopter or you could go to that one little airport.
Yeah, and they certainly utilize the heck out of smaller municipal airports. And I mean, I don't blame them. If you have the means to like jump around and fly, you know, and stay out of the traffic, that's the way to do it. The helipad thing is the thing. They were doing that on the island. That is in the files. That was a frequent thing that he had. And you know, and now you have helicopter rental companies that'll come and fetch you, and it's almost like a Turo thing. Like you can reserve a time and they'll come get you.
But can you track those too? And by the way, great work on I don't really dabble in the plane stuff, but great work on that. Can you track the helicopter too?
So you can track helicopters, but their regulations are so much less strict. If you're flying in certain areas, like, so if you're flying over Manhattan, it's a very, very regulated airspace for a helicopter. The way that so think of it like this. The regulations on airspace depend on mostly, you know, where you are, as in like, if you were trying to, you know, those helicopter tours that they do over Manhattan, you can like go in the seaport. Okay. So that is pretty regulated because you're right there. There's all those people, you know, if something goes wrong, something could go really wrong. But generally, if you're not over a direct city, then you can zoom your little personal helicopter around wherever you want. And as long as you're not high enough that you're in Class A airspace, so Class A is at the very top because there could be a jetliner up there, right? So as long as you're staying low, there's not even much regulation to even turn your transponder on. So if you want to fly, so if you wanted to fly your little personal helicopter, you know, your little 1-man, 2-man, you're barely showing up as a blip on the screen, and you're not even directly communicating with air traffic control in the same way. So like, it's a very unregulated. That's the Wild West. That's the Wild West.
That also brings up another point. So I haven't even thought about this in a hot minute, but there are, as drones have become more and more common, they are having to come up with like new drone law, especially like within these, you know, flight zones for the helicopters, because it can be a real issue. So that's why I think that's why there's more pushback from, if you're going to have government pushback on drones, it's not because of our privacy. It's because they don't want them crashing into helicopters, essentially, in my opinion.
Oh, you're completely right. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's very, I mean, well, yeah, talk about the Wild West. That's, talk about the Wild West. Like, that's like with drones. There were a few aviation incidents that happened, especially in 2025 before September 10th, where, you know, they would be in conflict in the airspace. And a lot of the times, like a lot of the reason why I had looked into so much of the military versus commercial aviation regulations was because there was, do you guys remember that whole thing with the New Jersey drones? You remember how like it was there was a whole time period a couple years, like last year.
That was like a year. That was only a year ago, right?
Right. And there's all
the creepy stuff.
That was so creepy, wasn't it? And they did it in Texas too, and I think it happened in California as well. And it turns out that what they were doing was military drone testing, but they had not bothered to inform the public. And so they were like back behind people's back. Right. And so pilots would be, you know, they're tooling along, they look over and there's a drone. Like, how terrifying. These are military grade drones. They were testing it and they didn't follow the regulations for the public, even though they're testing it over American airspace. Insane. So I was like, at that point, that's what got me into really looking at, okay, what are the military regulations? What kind of stuff can they test? That's the problem with, to me anyway. I'm like, guys, you still have to follow the public safety stuff. You can't just be like, oh, well, we're in the military, so therefore we're going to just go and fly our, you know, CCA Anduril, whatever, and make everybody terrified that something bad is happening or cause a crash.
I mean, we have enough conspiracy theories. Like, as soon as that one happened, I knew that's what they were doing, but that freaked everyone out. And it's like, we have enough. Like, can y'all like just be proactive? I don't know. I guess it's too much fast.
Be normal. This is what I beg. Be normal.
Yeah, we have too many asks, honestly.
So anyway, I'll take off the aviation nerd stuff. Sorry, I get excited talking about it. You guys know that stuff.
Oh no, I'm learning.
If anyone, the way, honestly, this is the way I found Ana. She had literally just started her channel. And to be quite honest, every time like Baron would cover the aviation stuff, it was lost on me because I had it was so overwhelming and I didn't get it. And I was like, I really need to like, you know, work my way back and kind of like figure out what's going on, but not be too overwhelmed with it. And that's whenever I found Ana, and she just taught it like you would teach a kindergartner, and not in like a, you know, not in like a condescending way, but sometimes, and I beg for that too. I'm like, I will not be offended. Just give it to me the way that like you would teach a kindergartner. So if anyone would like to know about the airplanes and the flight and all that stuff, go back to her first videos about a month ago, a month and a half ago, and it will really help you out, and you'll understand it better, and then it'll open up a whole new world of what you can look at. It got me interested, and it got us talking a lot. And I mean, look.
But you also need to get the flight radar, right? You have that, right?
Well, so there are three, exactly. Great point. So there's three main trackers. There's ADS-B, which is the one that I use, and then there's also Flight Radar and Flight Aware. So for the person who's just looking for a list of of airports that someone visited, if it's someone who just wants to, just take a little peek ski, those Flight Radar, Flight Aware, those ones are really user-friendly. However, please keep in mind that if any person with a private jet does not want to be tracked, then those websites don't track them. And that's the reason why I always feel like when we're looking at private jets, I'm like, well, no, it's not going to show up, or it's not going to say the correct landing spot or time they can. So just think of that as the, for private jet tracking, I don't find it super, just because when you get to that level right there, they're cloaking a lot of stuff. So I personally love ADS-B Exchange. That's what me and like my gang and we spend like sometimes hours like talking about just where's everybody going, because ADS-B has, in my opinion, the most data available to the public, and it's not as user friendly. So everybody hates it. But if you pay the $3, if you pay the $3, then you don't have any ads on it. So those really obnoxious. I'm like, this is not a free promo for them, but yeah, pay the $3, guys, because it's totally worth it. Then there's no ads. And so it's really nice. And then you can see so much. So that's what I like. I love it for this specific investigation, because I think of private jets as like part of the digital stakeout. I call it the digital stakeout, right? It's through, because they fly them around like it's their car. So if you imagine that we can put a GPS tracker on some of our characters' actual cars, it's the closest thing that we're going to get to that.
Yeah, and they put them on themselves without thinking that we would see it.
Right.
And public service announcement, just as you tell your kids, do not get in the car with a drunk driver. Do not get in a helicopter with an inexperienced pilot, please. Those things are not to be manned by someone who doesn't know what they're doing. Okay? That's all I'll say.
Oh no.
I would never. I'm sorry.
What do you do? Ask them for their credentials before you get on?
I mean, I would freaking know who they were. I would absolutely make sure that they had a bunch of flight hours. The reason why I say that is like, it's not a secret to those in aviation that helicopters can be a bit more, maybe not the commercial ones, but the military ones certainly are a beast to fly. And once you kind of lose control of them, I mean, it can happen. And it happens to commercial ones. They crash all the time, more so than like small planes. There's just a lot more mechanics going on at one time, and you have to be skilled.
Yes.
Let's say that.
Seriously. Did you guys see, do you remember, wasn't it Pete Hegseth in Kid Rock who like were in the helicopter and they like pulled up to someone's balcony? This was
yes.
I
saw that.
I was like, what are we doing? Our tax dollars at work, guys. So it's fine. I mean, listen, I would love the vibes if maybe we were just also responsible. So,
Right.
But
Right.
So I wanted to ask Allie specifically about speaking of the digital stakeout, because Allie, in my opinion, is like the queen of the digital stakeout, like finding information that is online or online or findable at any rate, right?
Yeah.
And you are so good at that. I love watching.
Thank you.
This
Me
is what's
too.
happening. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's so helpful. It's great. Guys, do you guys know about all the stuff that Allie has? I mean, you've been finding things. I remember watching you back from when you went on Barron in the beginning.
Yes.
And Rio and I were just,
oh my gosh.
How me and Barron met was actually from the deleted sermon. Do you remember that?
Oh my gosh.
He was streaming it.
Yes.
And Rob McCoy just shut it off. Like he pulled stream. So on his live stream, he's like, did you guys just see that live on air? They made the video private. I had the video. I already recorded it from September right after the memorial. So I gave it to him. Amazing. I gave it to Ian Carroll. Ian Carroll was such a amazing guy. He's just like, I love him. So he's one to follow for sure. Follows the money. So he did a whole segment on my the deleted sermons. And then I had the video of Jack Hibbs, which he deleted his selfie of saying Charlie Kirk passed. An Israeli news source was the first one to say it, but he deleted it right after. But so I was screen recording everything, but I didn't have social media. I was like kind of like you. I didn't have any social media or anything. I was trying to get it to YouTubers as quickly as I could, and and then Ian Carroll said, just make an account and post it, and that's what I did.
Isn't that amazing how like simple it can be? I am not big on social media myself. I value my privacy, but you shared it, and now look at it. It's like, whoa.
And then I sent him like the electrocution thing, because I was electrocuted when I was young and I saw burnt hands. I saw him go, like that.
Yeah, the decorticus. It looks the same too.
It looks the same. So then I was on his show for that. So which I thank him for even platforming me. He didn't have to. So I thank Barron for that.
Very cool.
There's a lot of really wonderful. That's what I love, guys, is I'm like, okay, not to be too kumbaya, but I'm sorry. I did not expect to find so many other people that cared about this as much as I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a big deal. I do think.
It's a crowdsource. Everybody's helping. If you post something in your comments, someone will find like 7 things. And I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah.
They're just helping. They're just helping.
Yeah, it's I love like seeing people be like, have you thought of this? Or actually it was this, like, like a correction on it. I'm like, oh, thank you. Because we lose that sometimes. It's like, oh, I did make a mistake there, which is fine. But like to be accurate when it matters, like when they're
Or just to like
telling
have
people.
different sets of eyes everywhere when you post something. I love that. I just love even
Me
like,
too.
correct me if I'm wrong, right? Oh, did you see that? Like, no, I didn't see that. Wow. Like it blows my mind that this is like a worldwide contribution to this case, whatever you want to call it. I just, I
Yeah.
think
And
Charlie's watching. I think he's watching all of it.
I really feel it gives me goosebumps when I think about it. But God works from beyond the grave, and I think this. I mean, we all have a fate, and God knew what He was doing with Charlie. And what I do love about this is that regardless of which side of the aisle you're on, or like what religion you're on, this is the one thing that has brought together people who really give a shit. Pardon my French, guys, but like who are genuine people and really want to know what happened here, because it's not, it is Charlie, but it's also like our government, and it's just so much that's relevant, and it's cool because we all have one of the most important things in common, and that's that we're good people and we care.
Need so many friends too. It's just like I think we said after all this, we'll take a trip somewhere. We'll all go somewhere and
we're not going to Valhalla. I'm scratching that.
I heard it in my mind. I heard it in my mind before you said it.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we could go to the Hamptons.
Go
I'd be fine with that. But we're going to the Hamptons in December. Not New York. Sorry.
I don't think that. I think
July is backed up.
Staying out of the tri-state area. I'm going to be honest. As much as I do love that part of the world, I love New York so much, but I don't know if they're going to like us around there, as this thing continues on. This is, no.
They've kind of ruined all the places for me, to be honest with you. I love Arizona. I was there this time, like last year, leading up to Charlie's death. I was there a couple times. I love Sedona. I mean, Sedona's great. Scottsdale is awesome. Phoenix. I went to a couple ASU games. I was like, this is so wild how this is coming back around. And
are you thinking ever to go to Utah, like for the hearings?
Okay, so someone mentioned that this morning, and she said, her name starts with a B. Remind me. She was the one who was there recently.
Oh, Brandy. It
was Brandy.
Billy, and Brandy.
Well,
they both have B's. Yeah.
Shout out Brandy Siciliani and Billy Webb, both of whom have YouTubes, both of whom are on X, and both of whom were actually there in the courtroom and are such brave young women. I'm astounded by them. They are heroes in this. They are the only reason that we know. Well, we saw the video ourselves, but when the Fed sloppers came out and we're all saying, well, this is what happened, this is what we saw in the video, they were able to immediately debunk that, immediately show that that's not what happened. So bless them.
Amazing.
And Teresa Better Life too. I don't know
Teresa
if you know
too.
Teresa.
Yes.
Teresa just, they all got an Airbnb together and they all did like the crowdsource work. They were with Diligent. They were measuring underneath the tunnel.
That's so cool.
God bless them. I mean, I wanted to go, but I couldn't go. But I'm thinking about like when the trial starts. I'd love to go down there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should definitely do it. Brandy actually asked me this morning if I would go on September 1st. So I'm really thinking about it. I mean, I will. I was just blown away that she invited me. I would love to. That's why I'm so sorry, Brandy. I couldn't remember your name for a second. I've been up so many hours. It just
Allie remembers.
Allie remembers it all. She's got
Allie
the receipts and the screenshots. And I didn't. So I guess I thought that Judge Graff's ruling was going to come out in late September, but I guess it's slated for September 1st. I wouldn't be surprised if he issues what's called a what am I thinking? Wow, I've been up a long time.
Usually an opinion or something?
Yeah, it's like the day before. It's like their anticipated ruling on things. So not all courts do it, but many times, like as a lawyer, we'll have a motion that's slated to be heard like on a Friday, and the judge will issue. It's called a tentative ruling. Okay.
Tentative ruling.
They'll issue a tentative ruling on like Wednesday or Thursday, And that way, like, counsel can be like, okay, well, we both submit on it, or we're going to reserve, argument or something like that. But in this case, because there will be no arguments, I doubt there will be arguments. It's just going to be what he rules. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes ahead and just issues a tentative ruling on it. But I don't know. I don't know if they do that in criminal law or Utah, clearly.
Do you know what's happening on September 1st? Is it going to be all day? Is it just going to be a short thing?
So I don't know, because that was just kind of brought to my attention. I was thinking it was later September, but I guess the date is September 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, like, I'm thinking you would just go in there and he would just tell you what his ruling is. Really, I don't believe there's any oral argument reserved, because it is what it is. He's already taken in all of the information, and it's his decision, right? It's his discretion. So I think with how highly publicized it's such a big case this is, and everybody's watching, he might go ahead and step up, to the bench and rule, like, with cameras and everything. But I wouldn't be surprised if he does issue a tentative ruling the day before.
I just saw a comment go by from Kate, who is an awesome investigator. And so she was saying that September 1st is oral arguments and September 21st is the ruling. I don't know. I don't know what any of those words mean.
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay. That really helps a lot. Okay. So September 1st, then I guess he is going to actually hear oral arguments. I wonder if,
what is that? Those of us who don't
know. Usually, so that tells me that maybe he will issue a preliminary. What I was just saying. He's going to issue one of those. And
tentative hearing. Tentative.
Yeah, tentative ruling. Thank you, guys. He will issue a tentative ruling before September 1st. It sounds like, to allow counsel to prepare for oral argument on the 1st. That is my guess. Wow. Don't hold me to that. Because it wouldn't make sense to just have them come in and argue things when they don't know what they're arguing for or against, right? Mm-hmm. So thank you very much. That helps a lot. So it is accurate.
I'm sorry. So just because, again,
sure.
So glad you're a lawyer.
Me too.
So the arguments would take place before the ruling, or do the arguments take place after? Or okay.
Yes.
Explain to me like I'm 5, please.
Yes. Okay. So let's say, like, all right, I am a mom and my children are deciding where we want to go on vacation, and neither one of them agree. Okay. So on September 21st, I'd be like, hey, guys, on September 21st, I am telling you where we are going. So right now, and this is on before September 1st, I'm going to tell you, hey, we're going to Disney World. The alternative was SeaWorld.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell those to my kids before September 1st. And I'm going to say, hey, we are going to SeaWorld. That is what's happening. Okay. So if you guys want to pitch your argument to me to sway me one way or the other, we're going to show up on September 1st. Okay.
And you're going to go and the little boy is going to say SeaWorld and the little girl's going to say Disney World.
Right.
And those arguments are made on September 1st.
Right. Because mom has already said, okay, I'm just going to let y'all know we're going to Disney World, but you guys have the opportunity to come in on September 1st and, hey, SeaWorld, you can pitch your argument. If it's good enough, maybe I can be swayed. Now, Disney World, you need to be prepared for what SeaWorld's going to argue. But right now, I'm making the decision on the 21st, but I'm telling you, we're going to Disney World unless you guys can argue it better, SeaWorld.
That is such a good analogy. Thank you so much for explaining that to me.
Oh my gosh.
This is all, listen, I can't be the only one who doesn't know all this stuff. I mean, well, maybe I am, but that's okay. Thank you for explaining it like that, because that is so helpful. That's so helpful. Okay. And then the final judgment, whatever, but the decision is made September 21st.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And so
go in or not go into trial.
Right. Yes, exactly. I'm going to tell you on the 21st, but I'm telling you in advance of so September 1st, y'all are going to debate. Okay. But this is your debate topic. I am telling you, unless I'm persuaded a different way, we are going to Disney World. So you guys have like a week to prepare for your oral arguments. And that is if he issues a tentative ruling.
And we think he's going to. We think he is going to.
Probably because this is such a big case that I wouldn't imagine that they weren't going to be prepared to argue. And it's never like how it is in the shows. You never show up unprepared. You always usually have time to prepare an argument.
Gotcha.
So it's not like who's standing there knowing the most law, like this, that, whatever. Gotcha. It's an argument. But don't hold me to that. It could be a different structure. But if oral arguments are happening on the 1st, I'm assuming he's going to tell them what they're arguing over.
Okay. So why so much space between the 1st and the 21st? Is there a reason, or is that normal?
Yeah, that is normal. In fact, I think that that's a sufficient amount of time because he has so much to review and he is already reviewing all this stuff. But say they show up to court on the 1st and they have a really good argument. He needs to take that under review. And you have to remember, too, he's an active working judge. So I don't think this is his only case. His docket is probably full.
Oh, really?
Right?
He's never done a murder or assassination or any case like that before. Either.
They always do that, by the way. But that is a tactic that not just but like that happens a lot. In some jurisdictions, and by jurisdiction, I mean like a whole state. Like I know in Washington, at least like Spokane County, they will take a judge that used to work like family law and they'll sit them on the bench in criminal law.
Oh, and why is that? Why do you think why is that?
It could be a lack of judges and they just kind of rotate. But honestly, it's not good. If that's the best you can do, then okay, you have to have a sitting judge, right? But you really should be a judge over the kind of court, the kind of law that you're used to arguing or that you're presiding over.
Isn't that fascinating that there seems to be this pattern? The pattern that I've observed is that for all of the people who are going to be a part of the cleanup, the fallout, let's call it the fallout, because we don't know if they're involved or on the payroll, but there seems to be a real pattern of people who were going to be a part of the fallout who are brand new to whatever it is that they're doing, right? As in like the hospital administrator, the judge, so many of the individuals that were actually part of the, different teams, they're all new. And the thing I keep thinking about is, whether I'm not here to judge whether someone's directly involved or had foreknowledge or anything like that. But I do know that when someone is new to such an important role, it's a lot easier to manipulate them. That's the thing that I've observed is that it's like, okay, so, we saw Judge Groff kind of struggling sometimes is what it seemed like. No offense, he did a great job. But, seeing him kind of struggle through, okay, then it's like you can take advantage of that and be like, oh, Judge Groff, this is what we always do, or this is what we never do. And then he's unsure of himself in whatever the regard is. You could tell a hospital administrator that it's totally normal to send patients on a freaking metro bus in an Uber or whatever to the next hospital. And then if you're a brand new hospital administrator, you might think that's normal. Now, we can get to that, whenever. But I'll tell you right now, no hospital administrator would ever agree to that. There's a 0% chance. But Rio, I also wanted to mention that our beautiful, brilliant co-investigator Kate, she messaged you on X, and I think it's a message that you would like because it's about the dates of the briefs. And
thank you. I appreciate that. Seriously, anybody that wants to send me info, that's great. And Kate, you are awesome. I'm still looking at what you sent us earlier this week, so we will definitely be in touch. Thank you.
She's amazing.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. And I will say, but I know that he is brand new to a murder case. And what I think, because I was watching him, is he was being very circumspect about everything. And even if he really allowed the lawyers the opportunity to explain themselves. And sometimes, and to me, actually, I'll be honest with you, whenever I'm in front of a judge and they think they know everything, because I mean, a lot of times they do, but sometimes you might have a nuance in the law, or you can explain it in a different way. It's nice to have a judge who says, explain it to me. What do you mean by this?
Mhm.
Because maybe it's something this judge hasn't considered. So to me, I think, one, he knows how sensitive this case is. Two, he knows he's brand new to it and he doesn't want to not get anything wrong, but he really wants to hear everything that's going on and these arguments being made. And it is okay to ask questions. I mean, in what world is it like not, you know? So I think too, as the week in the preliminary hearing progressed, you could see him like settle into the judge and the lawyer that he is. And he was just like, okay, like this is crap. I'm, you know, whatever. So I actually like him. I do.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
do? Okay.
I do like him. Yep.
Right. That's why I really appreciate having, like, again, these different perspectives of people who have different knowledge bases. Like, you know, there's stuff that we'll see as far as maybe the way the attorney is acting or something they're arguing, not arguing, how the judge is acting. You know, when you are talking to someone who's familiar with the nuances, right, of the way that a court flow should go, and the fact that there could be background things that are happening that we're not like considering as the public. It is so nice to be able to say like, oh, okay, so that's actually fine and normal. Because I want to make sure it's like, do I think that probably there's a lot of folks that we need to look at sideways? Yes, absolutely. Yep. But we also want to be fair and be like, you know, is this or is this that? I mean, just like you were saying earlier, Rio, I don't care about being right. All I care about is getting it right. Mm-hmm. In the end, that's really what matters, right? So even if I will never take part of my own theory or speculation past the point of the truth. As soon as new evidence, you know, or something comes up that really does mean that we have to make an adjustment into what we think happened or who was responsible, not responsible, blah, 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 then ethically, you have to then make those considerations. So, yeah.
Same here. I'm open-minded to anything.
Yeah. And, you know, honestly, if I were like being his coach, you know, I'd be like, screw what anybody thinks about you asking these attorneys to explain something to you or to cite the law. What matters is that you get it right. And this man, he is still a man. He is a professional judge, has the weight of the world on him right now because he sat through that and heard all that crap evidence, you know, but he's still sitting there with this probable cause standard. And the fact of the matter is that half of this stuff would never come into play at trial, which blows everybody's mind that's even able to be considered at this level. But he has to apply the preliminary hearing standard. So, I mean, he's got a lot riding on him. Either way, you can never make 100% of people happy. And either way, damned if you do, damned if you don't on him. So he's really going to sit there and probably rule the way he feels is best. So, you know, I feel for him. I definitely do. And yeah, just about everybody seems to be involved in this, but at the same time, like you said, we need to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm. Being neutral, right? I mean, we have to be I always think of like, how do serious investigators approach a case? Of course, every person has inherent bias, has preconceived notions, blah, blah, blah. But if we do not allow for the possibility of some people being direct involvement, some people being just kind of tertiarily involved or being scapegoated. I mean, all of these different layers, because if we are going to, you know, neutrally observe this in a way that gets us to the truth, then if we already go into it with a bias, then that is not a good thing ultimately. That's why I fight against that for myself a lot, because there's a couple people that I'm like, I don't like them. I don't like their, you know, the way that they're behaving. That SBI guy, David Hull, for example. I'm like, I don't know anything about him, but I'm like, he's in, you know, like I'm like, you know, I'm very convinced with him. So,
yeah.
I think at the same time, one thing that we have to be mindful of is to not disregard our intuition about somebody. True. Because that says so much, but to hold on to that intuition, like what your feeling is, but also look at the facts.
Yes.
And it's so funny how when you do that, you actually arrive back at like your intuition, but it's when you jump the gun and you don't assess the facts that you end up being wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know how the math like that, but there was only like one witness that I was like, she's okay. You know,
there's only one that you thought was okay. That's okay. Fair enough.
Wow.
Fair
one
enough.
to two. And I
Okay.
will say this too. I know that I believe it was Jennifer Batuma. I don't want to. She was like the Samoan looking
Yeah.
one.
Mhm.
I know she was on Netflix, and I recognized her because that was an amazing episode, actually, by the way. But, and I know it seems like, okay, these people are actors or whatever.
Mhm.
It is not illegal or weird to be in a Netflix documentary on crime in the state of Utah
Mhm.
and still have the same job as you have right now. So I know it's weird and we should think about it, but it's also not something to just like rule out her credibility on, because that documentary happened a long time ago. It was, and it was amazing. I'll just quickly tell you that they found, she was one who helped find out that this woman's roommate, who had been her best friend for 25 years, had been ordering on the dark web, like this bacteria that like would basically, so the woman had undergone spinal surgery, and the bad roommate had been trying to help her, like, you know, suture her, like, you know, help with her wounds and stuff. Anyways, this Jennifer woman helped them figure out that she had been ordering this horrible bacteria off the dark web and rubbing it into her sutures.
I seen that. I seen that on a
That's the one.
Not that documentary. I seen this on somewhere else being shown. Like, I watched this.
She's a blonde, like the victim is a blonde woman, and she had her son.
Yes.
And she and her son lit. Yeah.
It was the roommate was trying to like off her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I seen that.
It's
not
I
on
think
the
it's
Netflix, on a different show. I think it was called The Worst Roommate Ever or something.
That is it. It could be on Prime. I think it's on Prime or Netflix, but it's season 1. So
yeah,
I just rewatched it.
That was
I've seen
scary.
it like 5 times.
That
it was like the best one.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I didn't know she was a part of that. Now that my brain is going, I'm like, okay, I've seen that on a different show. I didn't know she was the one that figured it out, that Jennifer girl.
Yeah, wow. She was part of the one. She was part of what she said. She was on. She works for like one of the agencies that she says she works for in our hearing, right? And essentially, they work on like dark web crime. There's something there though. Noted. Okay, so anyways, she was one of the ones that went to the victim and broke the news to her that it was her roommate who was doing this, and she's like, there's no way.
So what exactly was her role? So what was her specific, you know, piece of the investigation that she was there to do with Charlie? Because now I'm confused, because I'm like, okay, that seems interesting. I'm trying in my mind to think about why potentially she may have been selected or not selected. So what just remind me really quick what her information was?
Okay. I could be wrong. Someone in the chat will correct me though. I think she works with SBI, which is the State Bureau of Investigation for Utah. And they investigate like these serious crimes.
Right.
And I think what she was testifying to was I want to say it was the
bullet,
gun.
right? Was it the bullet?
It was the bullet, yeah.
Oh, bullet fragment. Okay. And so she had been on this Netflix or whatever documentary, and where she had helped solve a case, and her specialty was in that case looking at this deep web stuff. I was trying to just put together, like, I wonder if, because something also that I've been thinking about is like, is it possible that some of these folks who are actual professionals maybe would be selected to be, you know, used in this investigation because they are not great with bullet fragments, right? Or if they are, you know, if you see that person on TV and you know that they got something wrong that you saw, you know, or whatever, right? Then it could make them more of a target for selection to either well, to be used for this, like as in brought in on it, but also to be like, hey, you know what? Let's make sure that we have that person,
Mm-hmm.
the one who's going to be doing the bullet frag, because I already know that she can't really, I don't know, run this one program effectively or something along those lines. It's like, I do want us to think outside the box. With like, maybe she's like an unknowing, an unwitting accomplice, right?
Yeah, and that's a good thing to keep in mind too. And at the same time, also realize that, so not only did she work for the SBI,
Mhm.
but in this documentary, I think literally the next line she said was, I work with the FBI to track down these like cyber crimes in the dark web. So that is something very relevant. But in our preliminary, I think she was not testifying to the testing of the bullets, because that wouldn't make sense to me now thinking back on it. She's not, I don't think she was like the lab, I think she was testifying to what they had found.
Mhm.
And I mean, found as in like physical evidence. So don't quote me on that, but it's in that ballpark somewhere.
Fascinating. So I'm hoping that we can introduce Miss Allie's amazing. We have like some stuff that we want to talk about. If you guys are ready to, I don't know, but
yes. And can you give me 1 minute, because your girl? Okay, y'all can chat for just a minute. I will be right back.
No worries, darling. Okay. So
Yeah, we could add it to stage now if you want.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm like, guys, as you guys know, we are talent, not production, but look at that. Yay, perfect. Okay, awesome.
This is from Diligent, right?
I believe that this is something that, so this is an excerpt of the motion that was just, well, it was just found by Diligent Denizen on X. He's a wonderful follow, guys. He does a ton of on the ground reporting. He's great. And he found this excerpt that I think that it was separate, or maybe he gave it to Candace. I'm not sure. I'm sure that somebody in the chat will know, but he was find that this is an excerpt from the motion that was recently introduced by the prosecution, and it goes over something that is not actually the ME report. It is not actually the medical examiner report. However, it does seem to show, it offers us a lot of information, good or bad, you know what I mean, as to the actual, the ways that,
like it said it has chest wounds, right? I think somewhere here.
You want to talk about that right now? Sure, yeah.
Here we go. It's this one right here, because the first ones was I can read it out here.
I'm like, oh darn, I want to wait until Rio comes talk about this, because some of the stuff that she was talking about. So if you want, do you want us to go into the SUV stuff for a second?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can leave this until she comes back, because she knows all about this stuff.
It's a team effort on that one.
Okay, so these are just pictures of her at obviously here was the first. I'm pretty sure this is first day, right? This is at the Groff funeral home.
Groff Funeral Home. So this is in Utah, or it's in Arizona?
This is in Utah.
This is in Utah, and this is at Groff Funeral Home. And how many funeral homes did he go to again, Ellie?
There was 3.
3.
3
funeral homes. Okay.
So I don't know why, and I think Candace did talk about that too, in a little bit more detail than what I'm going to do. And I haven't really gone into depth of this, so is trying to figure out after this in Phoenix, there was a wake or a funeral of some kind. I don't know if it was a September 11th or 12th, but it was at the Hanson mortuary. It was at the Hanson mortuary. So that must have been like a wake or some kind of, I don't know. That I don't know. And then the last one was at.
Can you walk me through it? Like I haven't seen this before, because now I've gotten all the now that I know that there were 3 separate funeral homes involved, and like what the dates are, and especially with what we're going to talk about with the dates immediately after. Can you walk me through it from the beginning? On this day,
the Groff Funeral Home was in Utah. That's where he was taken to from, I guess, from the hospital to there.
So and this is on the 11th, FYI.
Okay.
Is it on the 11th?
Okay.
It is.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. If it's on the 11th, somebody in the chat can tell us. I'm just giving you the names of the funeral homes here. I thought
Sure.
it was the same day, but I guess it's not. Wait.
It's okay.
So
He
when
died
she
on the
did
10th, right?
when she did this photo op, right?
Right.
You guys remember this photo op?
Now,
Wasn't that on the 10th?
Okay.
I can go look at her Instagram right now.
okay?
She posted it on the 12th.
Did she?
But yes. But I guess what you're breaking is that it was Elizabeth McCoy, because we didn't know. We thought it could be Stacey Sheridan. The
Who had-
photos were taken on the 11th.
Taken on the 11th. And now,
11th.
so if he passed away on the 10th at 12:23, then even if they had done a rush job autopsy, you are not placed into a casket until those items are completed, right?
Oh.
Even if he were being transported, from one ME office to another, something like that, you do not place someone in a casket until those items are actually checked off. So for him to be in that condition and then have him available for family viewing, etc.,
Yeah.
it does imply timeline wise that it does not make sense that it would be on the 10th. Certainly the 11th, if they do
The
a rush.
11th. It is 11th. People are confirming in the chat there. It was
Okay.
the 11th, and I'm looking at her Instagram pic, and yeah, it was the 12th when she posted it. So the 11th. So I guess like they had to examine him, right?
I
Yeah,
can
they had-
help with this because this is
Yeah.
the thing I'm like deep diving on right now.
Good. Because
Okay.
I have Hansen, I have Groff, Hansen, and Wright. Those were the 3 places his body went to.
Do you want to split it? And I'll take the stuff in Utah and you can take the stuff in Arizona, because
Sure.
I don't know as much about the Arizona. Okay. So we have Charlie dying, passing away. The incident, right? It happened at 12 or whatever we're talking about. They take him to the hospital. That's a whole other story, that we're going to talk about. And then, and I really kind of gathered this from one of Barron's podcasts this week. From what we could observe in the media with like the transports and everything, the earliest that he arrived at the medical examiner's office was at 9 that night.
Okay.
I'm sorry, back it up. I'm wrong. He ended up at the medical examiner's office. Hold on a second. Nope, that's right. Earliest he could have gotten there was about 9 p.m.
Okay. That's good to put down.
Because they left the hospital about 7 or 8.
Okay.
And so we're saying that he got there about 9 o'clock.
You know,
Normally, after hours, they don't do an autopsy. This is the medical examiner. So apparently, they went ahead and did a rush job to get it done, if one took place. And this is on the 10th still, right?
Mhm.
We see in one of these motions that was published, or the memorandum, that they say that the autopsy photos were taken on the 10th. And if that is true, then somewhere between like 9 and midnight, they had to be taking the photos. I don't know at what stage of. Go ahead, Allie. Did you say something?
Oh, I was just going to mention the fact that I was watching the chat go by. So the people in the photo on the left, that's Usha Vance and JD. So that would imply that we can narrow down when this photo was taken, and I'll go and check right now. But that would imply, in my opinion, that the photos on the left anyway would have been taken at. Let me just double check. I'm going to check on ADSB right this second, because we know when Air Force 2 flew in, and so assumably this would be immediately after that. I believe that was on the 12th. So let me go find out. Hold, please.
That was on the 11th.
Keep talking about it.
I think that was the 12th because they flew him out, right? And she was wearing that.
Hold on.
As well. Yeah.
I think that could be possible. Let me tell you what I know, and then I want to hear what you guys know. Okay, so we're still sitting there on the 10th up to midnight, and they say that the autopsy photos were taken on the 10th. So, okay. I don't know if that means it was conclusively wrapped up or whatever, but what we do know is by midnight, it changes over to the 11th, right? Mm-hmm. By 5 a.m. that morning, he was already out of the medical examiner's office and on his way to the first funeral home, which would be, which one, Allie? What's the first one?
The first one's Groff.
Okay. So
the Utah one is Groff. Yeah.
Okay. So at Groff. Okay. So Charlie arrives there at some point, but by 5 o'clock, they're already gone. Okay. So pairing that with the aloe, do y'all remember she got that aloe order that somebody had to go pick up?
An aloe order? No, I don't remember this. Oh, her aloe yoga order.
Yes.
Yes.
Her aloe yoga order.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was placed at like 11:15, something like that. So somebody had to go rush over there and get it, right? And put it on. So then they take off. Let's say they get dressed, and let's say at the earliest they're dressed is like noon. So it takes about, I believe, an hour to get to wherever he's at, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So we're placing it, I want to say generously, she gets there like somewhere between 1:30 to 2:30, which is when I believe that the photo on the right was taken. Air Force Two lands at about 2:30, and they stay for about 2 hours. And I believe the Air Force Two takes off by about 4:45.
I'm double checking that right this minute, but yeah, go ahead.
And so that would be on the 11th. All of this was so quick. I mean, less like 24 hours later,
Yeah.
They're already taken off on Air Force Two. And because I reviewed a bunch of footage and everything, and actually Charlie's parents were there to see him loaded onto Air Force Two. So they probably came in from Chicago, and no telling like if they got there the night before or if they made it there that day. But
I can tell you about the parents too. I have their flight as well. And so, and
you did find it?
I did. Yeah. I found the flight. They actually were flown in on one of the jets that we've been tracking. And so I'll get the time for you in a second, but I did want to verify. Yes. So let's see here. So Air Force Two did fly in, and then they were gone by, oh, wait a second. I just did the calculation and now I lost it. Hold on, but I'll find out.
Mom and Dad were gone? Well, Air Force Two was gone by like 4:45, and they were taken off to Arizona. Right. And then I'll turn it over to Allie.
So let's see.
Yeah, I have that picture here somewhere, the date of that. Hold on. You mean talking about the one on the left, right?
I just mean the funeral homes in Arizona, because I think that the one on the left was, I think the one on the left was probably taken about the same time frame as this one on the right, to be honest with you. It could be.
You think it's the same one?
I do think so. By the way that this is laid out on the left, that's so very specific. I bet we could actually look at that.
If it's the same carpet.
Flag. Look at the flag in the background.
The same carpet.
That's
it looks
Utah.
like the same carpet, maybe.
Look at the flag in the background.
Oh, is that a Utah state flag? I believe
that is Utah.
Yes, it is. It's Utah. They're still in Utah.
So that was in Utah, and you were exactly right. So they arrived. They left by 4:29 p.m. local time. So then that would have meant that they arrived right about 2:29 or 2:24 p.m. So Air Force Two arrived at 2:24 p.m. on September 11th, and then was out of there by 4:30 p.m. on the same day. So 2 hours. That's them in Utah. So we can narrow down that time frame pretty well. It does look like they're greeting them. It looks like they're initially greeting them. So that would make sense for this to be that timing.
Mm-hmm. And I guess what blows my mind is today was the first day. Whenever I was re-listening to Candace,
mm-hmm.
and I knew I was forgetting stuff, like things were falling through. Is it not crazy that this was Elizabeth McCoy who took this photo?
Yeah. Interesting. Because when did she fly in, or was she there the entire time?
She was there.
She was there the entire time?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that. I can't say for sure, but we do know Mikey was there.
Right. But when did his wife, because he got on the phone with her. Do you guys recall that? Remember that Mikey, allegedly he was calling and he was running the entire scene, guys. We saw that, right? Mm-hmm. When he was curled over the folding chairs.
I think she was there. I haven't seen pictures of her.
Right.
By Air Force One or in the crowd or any, I haven't seen it.
Right.
But, yeah. I mean, it could be that she was back at the hotel.
It could be. Yeah. Right. She could have been there. I think it's still very fascinating that we need to continue to look and see who was there, who wasn't there, who's actually there. Something that was really fascinating to me is that you know the guy who used to be the camera guy for Charlie for a long time, like 10 years. His name is like Artifacts. He's awesome. He's great.
Yes.
It's
So,
wonderful.
yeah, great person. He mentioned the fact that something, the very first thing that stood out to him for who was there that day and who wasn't, was the fact that Blake Neff was there without Andrew Colbett. He said that's like unheard of. Little point that I think is worth keeping in the back of our mind. He's like, what is he doing there and not Andrew? What is that about? He also said, what on earth is Terrell Farnsworth doing there? Given that Terrell Farnsworth almost never, ever attended those tabling events. And that I think is interesting because apparently he would go like one time a year, maybe. But if you think about the pace and schedule of how often Charlie's at those tabling events, he was like, why is Terrell there? Like, he's not, why was he there that day? That is an interesting data point to me.
Ooh, you know what? I'm watching the chat and this makes so much more sense. You know how Mikey said that he called his wife immediately and then the story changed that he like three-way called Erica.
Yeah.
I bet they were together. I bet Elizabeth and Erica were actually together. And that was a three-way call in the sense that they were all three on the line.
Right. Yes. Oh, I don't want to put them over your face, Rio, but you can click on, if you click on any of them.
No, it's okay. Put it over my face. That's fine.
Okay. Then, sorry, I'll take it off. But
the only thing before I forget this is eerie to me that this was Elizabeth McCoy, because do y'all remember when they went to probably like what the Hamptons and those photos that were taken no, they definitely did go. They went to Maine together. They went to Maine. Okay.
She's really close with Erica from what I was what I was told. Yeah.
I think Mikey and Elizabeth and Erica and Charlie went to Maine together, and that is when they went to have dinner with Tucker, I believe. Okay. Before Candace came like a couple days later. But do y'all remember those photos of Erica and Charlie like walking down this like pathway, and she's trying to grab his hand and he like kind of like lets go of her hand?
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember that.
I do remember that. It's like them walking through a little forest with their kids. Yeah, I remember.
And I'm not putting anything in any particular order, guys, here. Like, this was at the Hanson. And shout out to Wisha Birchwood on X. She figured out the background here was the funeral home in Hanson.
In Hanson, Utah?
Phoenix, yeah. So he went there. And this one here was Wright. Sorry, you probably can't see the name of it, but this is Wright Funeral Home and crematory. But so is Hanson. Hanson also does crematorium. So yeah.
Wait, when you say the name,
but he was there, so he was here.
So that is at Hanson, Arizona.
Yeah. If anybody in the chat can confirm it, that's what I believe.
So it would appear that they met Marks in Hanson, Arizona. And now the question becomes, how did Victor Marks, who lives in Colorado, arrive in Arizona? Things to think about, right?
Yeah. Before we move on, I just want to like get this one out.
Yeah, please.
But like back with Erica, I mean Elizabeth, Mikey McCoy and Elizabeth going on that little vacay with Erica. I have so many times felt like they already knew what was going to happen to Charlie. And she said to Elizabeth, you need to take a bunch of photo ops for me. Like, be my photographer.
Interesting.
Make it look good. Because, like, if you've got somebody on the trip with you who's like, and you're like, I got to have like content, like take photos of us. We do this, we do that. That is why this being Elizabeth McCoy really freaks me out. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. Her being there at the actual casket, at a variety of funeral homes. She definitely seems like someone who is unusually close to Erica. And it's Elizabeth Kravchuk McCoy. I believe is she Ukrainian, Romanian? I think she's
Ukrainian. Yeah.
She's Ukrainian.
There's a lot of Ukrainian characters.
And her dad,
yes,
and her Elizabeth's dad, is a musician and did stuff for the Cavalry Church, and her grandfather does, I think it's Godspeak Church.
Really?
Yeah. He doesn't speak English though. I did a whole like live stream on her grandfather, but
Really? And he
yeah,
lives.
and Mikey McCoy would speak at his the grandfather's church or chapel or
They all
whatever.
spoke Russian. What was it that
Yes.
Candace was saying about which event was where they were all speaking Russian, which I think is cool. But
Memorial. That was at the memorial. How someone was surprised, if I'm not mistaken. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that someone remembers being very shocked at how much Russian was being spoken at the memorial, given that, you know.
Yep.
And I do wonder.
Well, Tyler Boyer speaks Russian. He adopted. Well, he didn't adopt. He was a girl from Russia came and he was just like had her for a little bit until she got adopted or something like that. That happened.
Right.
I think Candace talked about that as well, long time ago.
Oh man, I really want to leave Russia out of this.
Yeah, let's leave him out.
No,
Yeah.
I mean like my heart right now.
Well, we can't because maybe the SUV went there.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe Charlie went there. I don't know.
But I wanted to like go like so. We figured out this. There was 3 funeral homes. I don't know why. We don't know what happened. If he was cremated or not. Like that's just all speculation, right? But before you went away from your phone, we did have this to go over, right?
Yes. That's so Rio, this is that motion, the one that was found by Diligent Innocent. And then this is going to be the one that has kind of that unusual language.
The autopsy, right? The medical examiner one?
Well,
Yeah.
Right. And so this one,
I don't know if you can read it.
Oh yeah. I read this extensively this morning. So I gotcha. I'm following.
Okay, good. Because I did want to take note of a few different things about it. So the first thing is that this is a report. This is a report of a report. So let's start there, because what this is not a medical document. This is not something that any actual medical professional wrote themselves. There are a few quotes within it that you can see they are literally in quotation marks. But what I see, first of all, just looking at it through kind of a medical lens, what I'm seeing is at the very best, secondhand knowledge and secondhand reporting written by someone who I would assume is not a medical professional. When I see just the underlying part, that was the first part that set off alarm bells for me, because I do understand that perhaps this is a normal way that someone would write a report throughout, the court system. But the medical exam, this is okay. The way it's written, it's not like there's problems, and I see them like right away. So the medical examiner observed hemorrhaging around Mr. Kirk's heart, and then they actually, just use the single word, hemopericardium, right? So now what that means, guys, is that the prosecution wrote the medical examiner also observed hemorrhaging. Well, hemorrhaging is not the word that was used by the ME, not necessarily, because it is not in quotations. I have posterior intercostal hemorrhage. I have pulmonary apical hemorrhage and hematomas. See, what they're doing is they're interpreting the words of this ME in order to try to fit their narrative. Okay, so they're saying the ME also observed hemorrhaging around the heart, both of the lungs, and in the subarachnoid space around the cerebellar vermis. Sorry, I'm just so the problem.
So it says here hemopericardium, however you say it, is most common with chest trauma.
Right. Oh gosh, I have so much to say about this.
Well, so that's what I'm saying is that, the sense that I'm getting is that they plucked out a few different words that they thought hypothetically could maybe apply to a bullet, to a gunshot, a GSW. First of all,
how can a bullet cause chest trauma?
Generally, it does not. Shocking something. Generally, it does not. I mean, if he was shot while falling off of a building, then okay. But this does not actually, first of all, it does not point, in my opinion, to a GSW to begin with. There is far too extensive of injury to be explained away by anything other than a significant ricochet within the body. And we're talking about significant as in throughout the entire body cavity. But the thing that I really worry about is the fact that I see like 10 words here that were written by the ME, and the rest of it is just them putting their own spin on it. They are cherry picking a few words that they think fit their narrative. And then they're just saying, yeah, this is, clearly this is what the provider is saying. This is not what the provider is saying.
Nope.
There is nothing in here. Do you notice that it doesn't say anything about an entry wound as a quote from the actual ME?
Oh, yeah.
I wonder why not. Is it potentially that the ME never states that? Is it potentially that the ME actually says, we observed multiple wounds, throughout the body? I mean, there's certain verbiage that this ME would have put in if it were a simple GSW. It's not there. And so what they're doing is they're just taking, one little phrase, and then they're saying their own words around it and making it sound like that is actually what's being reported by the ME when it's not. It's not at all. How does one break one? I mean, the broken back, we saw it happen on camera. We can see in some of John Bray's footage, we can see that happen. We see we see the actual neck breaking. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, that may actually be prior to seeing the exit wound, what is clearly an exit wound. Let's use our brains. You know what I'm saying? Like I really just refuse to not use our critical thinking when we're thinking about this. And by the way, yes, like apical hemorrhage, hematoma, multiple disruptions of the thyroid. It's
not just one. Let me just say this. If this is correct, okay, and they are using the correct terms that were in the medical report, I have a whole different feeling about that. This was not just caused by a bullet. A single bullet could not do all of this. Therefore, in my opinion, and I'll just tell y'all what my opinion is, or that I haven't ruled out yet. I have not personally ruled out that both things didn't happen, because what I'm looking at right here is caused by an energy release. That is a blunt force trauma, extreme. And I'm telling you, extreme. People get kicked in the chest by horses. I had somebody this morning talking about that, and it's true. She suffered lacerations to her liver, and not this. This does not. You do not get hemorrhaging around your heart and your lungs usually from your lungs. It's an underlying issue that you have, and it's something that kind of slowly presents itself. You can't really breathe. You go into, the ER. It's not something where you have even if you have an underlying disease, that it's triggered from blunt force trauma. Is that correct, Anna? That tracks?
Right. It definitely tracks. That's the thing, is that what they're describing is the kind of injuries you would see after someone either fell off of a building, right? Literally a very, very, from a high level and passed away from these injuries, a car accident, that sort of trauma. That is what we would see in this, or jumped on a grenade. But what's missing, the only thing that's missing is, obviously we would hear a lot more about the injuries that, were to the skin, to the dermis. I don't see anything about dermal injuries in here, including anything about an entry wound. If this were something that they were like the ME was actually chalking up to the results of a GSW, then they would talk about the dermis. This is a normal expected. This is definitely in the ME's report. You have to include things about the skin. Like you have to include like the condition of the skin. This is basics, right? You have to include the basics of the skin. Certainly, if you're talking about something like a GSW, you are going to include something that has to do with this quote unquote cause and manner of death, right? But I don't see anything about the dermis in there. I don't see anything about it being quoted in there by this ME. So what that tells me is it could very well say observed, wound to the upper, to below the collarbone, whatever, right? They could have, absolutely. So without us being able to see the original autopsy, it could just be that they skipped the part about the fact that he basically had an IUD go off. That would be perfectly appropriate.
This is what makes
can I ask Rio a question? So like if they go to trial, will the doctor or medical examiner be up on stand?
Yes.
Will they?
They're going to have to. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because you cannot. This is like a hearsay within a hearsay. The way that they've got this thing now, hearsay. There are exceptions to hearsay. Sometimes a report can speak for itself, right? And that's not if you're interpreting it. If you're just taking it from face value, like let's say officer number 1 is reading the report from officer number 2. They're just reading it, right? But with something like this, you have to have the medical examiner there, who is Dr. Valhalla, by the way.
Out of town.
Yeah. You have to have him there at trial to testify to what he saw here. And this is why I am very angry as an attorney, and I think that they should be sanctioned. Like, this is so unacceptable. Okay, because this is Exhibit 11. Exhibit 11 is the autopsy report. Judge Graff made a ruling. It's not coming into the, like, it's not going to be published. Nobody gets to see it, right? Then tell them what?
Nobody gets to see what?
The autopsy report for the preliminary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not going to be published. So tell me why. And part of this too, you have that whole side angry because of jury pool tainting, right? They don't want all this information flowing out there. You tell me why you decided it was okay for you to cherry pick exactly and to spin the narrative in this memorandum when you could have, because we do this all the time, either redacted the version that was going to be released to the public, or when you filed it, you made it private, because the judge, this is undermining the court's order. And it's not fair because we don't have anything, a potential juror reading this can't tell what the rest of it says.
Right.
They are only going to use facts and their own narrative to spin it in their way. They're never going to be objective about it. And that is what makes me so angry. I think they should be sanctioned because this is like a way to subvert that ruling, but it's actually not okay. And, you know, where I practice, you get in trouble with it. Like if you file something, even if, you know, it's your right to file it, you have to make sure that when you file it, it's consistent with privacy laws or whatever the judge has ordered. And that is, as an attorney, that's what makes me angry about this. But then looking at it from like a medical perspective, because, you know, Anna's background is medicine. And my undergrad is in biology, but I do personal injury and medical malpractice all the time. And so I spend my days reading medical records. And this is abysmal, what they have just put in here. It is like,
And
I don't
can
know.
they do this for, can they be this minimal with explaining what happened to his body for the preliminary? Are they allowed to like make it like this vague?
So this would be proper if they were arguing just to the judge, right? So
okay.
it would be fine because that's what we do as lawyers is we take the facts and we spin them. We say, actually, you know, into our favor, and you can do that. However, like Anna said, anything in here without quotes, he didn't exactly say. Also, even if he did say it, like the line before where they've got it like referenced at page 3, yes, he might have said that, but you have to take it in the context of everything else they've said. So while it is appropriate for the judge to see this, it is not appropriate for this to be published. Yeah. I really hope they get sanctioned. I think this is horrendous.
I mean, is there any recourse realistically, or who would have to initiate that?
I think the defense.
The defense could, initiate the idea of bringing in sanctions, and then they would argue that to Judge Graff.
Yeah, and even I believe, you know, the court on its own motion can sometimes levy sanctions because really, yes, the defense, you know, is at a disadvantage for this, but it was the court who said, I don't want this out. Like, do not put this out. And so I do think that the court on its own motion can levy the sanctions. I don't know if they will, but I mean, if I were the defense team, I would totally get them.
And just for everybody's knowledge, I mean, Anna knows this. Chest trauma equals like sharp wounds or hard hits to the chest from accidents.
Yeah.
So
this is just this.
They did. I'm glad they said it here, though.
Right. Well, it's almost like what did they think they were accomplishing by doing this? Because realistically, so in my opinion, I do not think that a low velocity, bullet would have had this extensive of results. This is as though, quite literally, guys, think about this is consistent with the same kind of thing that you would see if somebody jumped on a grenade. All that's missing is the talk about the skin and tissue injuries. And that's the thing. They don't talk about it. It is notably absent. They should have even had, if they had just even a line in there that said the skin was, person's skin was unbroken, unblemished, within normal limits, no evidence of trauma other than this, there's a lot of and that is totally standard. In any person who's writing a report like that, they would just say, the person is noted to have, because they have to go through all the body systems in a report like the ME generator. And you have to make note of the integument. That's the skin, right? You have to talk about the tissue. Severe tissue damage was noted to, left, neck portion, I mean, they would have that in there. The fact that it is absent is glaring. And that is, in my opinion, probably because there are injuries that are listed and noted there that they don't want to introduce, or that they really pushed or
doesn't fit their narrative. It doesn't fit their narrative. I want to ask Rio something, if that's okay. Erica has stated she wants a speedy trial, and I think, is that the only place that can do speedy trials, for victims? I'm just wondering.
Sure,
I don't know this stuff.
That's a great question, because I'll be honest, whenever I heard she was moving for that, I had no idea that any state ever gave the victim's representative any right like that, because traditionally, and it still is, it doesn't matter if she wants a speedy trial. I mean, I think Utah makes it into this sense that they want the victim's representative to feel like they have a say in what's going on, but really, the right to a speedy and fair trial belongs to the criminal defendant. I mean, ultimately. So it's a balancing of the interest.
So it's unusual that the victim would be asking for the speedy trial compared to the defendant? Normally it's the defendant who asks? Okay. That's
no other state that I know about has this right. And I think
it's not in every state, right? That's what I heard.
No, this is unusual. So I had never even heard of it.
It's only in Utah?
I don't know that it's only in Utah. I don't want to say, because I didn't even know this existed before this case. But okay, while it may be true, and it's fine that Utah gives the victim's representative the right to a speedy and fair trial, okay, I think that's more of an acknowledgement kind of thing than it is really anything else. Because, to be honest, you're going to, if it comes down to weighing of the interests, you've got a criminal defendant who's on trial for his life, and he has the rights to a speedy and fair trial by judgment of his peers. And yet she's saying she has the same thing, but this one's going to have more weight. So the fact that she thinks that she can rush it, that's not how it works. It's to not have unnecessary delays. But the only ones who have been delaying this thing are the prosecution, because they have not been getting the defense what they need in time. So really, they're using it in the wrong way. If it were the defense that was kicking the can down the road, it's no, I have a right to get this thing done so we can have some closure. But they're almost using it in an offensive manner instead of a defensive manner, talking about football.
Right. Yeah, I got that.
They're using it to...
I see here it says states with victim speedy trials and provisions: California, Alaska, Wisconsin, and other states like Dakota, Ohio, South Dakota. That's about it.
And it may not be honestly the same in every single state, because that is not something that is common knowledge. I'll tell you that. That's really a rare thing.
It's a rare occurrence, because it
doesn't. That's what I heard. I heard it was only in Utah. Exactly what she wants, because I guess there's different.
Well, it makes perfect sense if it is the defendant who does not want to sit and waste away in a jail cell while they are, getting through a trial. That makes sense for them to want to rush things. However, for the victim in this case to be the one who is insisting on a speedy trial, that very much aligns with what you would expect if someone wanted this thing over with really quick. And
kind of like how fast they moved on Charlie's body and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Like
the faster you can go, the more that, I mean, unfortunately, if this is all innocent on the behalf of, of Erica, then okay. But unfortunately, it also looks like exactly what you would do if you were trying to cover this thing up and get it out of here. Unfortunately, it looks the same as that. And so they should consider that when people are looking at this.
I don't even care if she has nothing to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Like, you cannot use this offensively. You cannot say, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Let's get this investigation over, even if she's innocent. Okay. Like, it doesn't work like that. You still, they are saying he is guilty before they've even proven anything.
Well, she forgave him, right? She already forgave him, which honestly, the way that I interpreted that was her condemning him. That was her already judging and finding him guilty. I mean, that's what the purpose of that statement was, wasn't it? To say he is guilty and he is forgiven for his sin. And that is such an intentional, it makes me so mad just to think about it.
I think it's more like, I never had to forgive you because you did me a favor being a patsy.
Oh my gosh. I wish she were that altruistic. I wish that I would think that she's altruistic like that. I literally think that she went out there with the express purpose to say, yes, like, the Lord himself, I am here forgiving this sinner. Look at this moment. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I don't know about anyone else, but I really, really felt that was the one time that I've ever seen Erica and felt for her. I felt for her in that moment. I said, what a beautiful, I said, this is the Spirit of the Lord for this woman to have been able to forgive her husband's killer in the span of time and to publicly come on stage. I was impressed with that.
See, that's the scary thing, is that like reasonable minds can differ.
Yeah.
It worked on some people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I saw it, it made me effing cringe. And I was still not sure at that point. I really wasn't, because that wasn't too much longer. But the way in which she said that might have been really my turning point, because with the photos of the, in the video, a lot of people lost it there. But for me, I was like, if this was my husband and somebody killed him, I would want them to see how permanent death is and what they did to his body. I don't care if you think it's gross, because I'm going to fucking come after you and I'm going to take you down.
You know what's funny is, right, because so for me anyway, I had found her guilty, not guilty. From the first moment I saw her, I thought that she was actually in on, the very first thing out of the car. And so then she goes on a stage, or onto his set. She speaks to us. I'm like, yeah, you did it, girl. Like, you're in on this. Like, you're guilty, you're guilty, you're guilty, you're guilty. I forgive him was the first moment that I thought, oh, maybe there's something more. And she's not. Isn't that worse? Like, I had clocked her the first time I saw her with that little necklace out of the car. I was like, nope, that's wrong. That is wrong. There's a problem there. That is.
Yeah, I thought the when she came to speak on that, was it September? The first one, when she was in the studio there. That one was kind of weird. But I gave her grace, right? I'm just like, is that even her? It didn't even look like her. And then the memorial, when I saw the fireworks, and I'm like, okay. I can't feel. I couldn't start feeling anything when I saw that. I'm like, this isn't Amfest. This isn't Amfest.
That was super, super wild. And it's so funny how so many different people clocked it at different times. And like, I am always wanting to give people the benefit of the doubt, So I was like, okay, everybody's mind went straight to there. Even my dad, the first thing he said was, oh, she did it for the money. And I was like, Dad, like, what? And then, like, when she was up there giving that speech on the 12th, by the way, it was after that speech at his podium that she published that picture was of her over the casket. Was right after that.
Oh, interesting.
When she was up there giving that speech, people, and this was not me, I was not in this camp, people were creeped out at how held together she was. I thought this woman is a trained pageant beauty queen who is trained at public speaking and is probably still in shock.
Right. I figured she was medicated, which, and that's not in a judgmental way, but oftentimes after something really traumatic, someone can, it's very appropriate for the doc to say, here's his Xanax, you know what I'm saying? Like that's, and she had to be in the public space. I guess I totally agree with you. I thought that like, yeah, she's a trained pageant participant. And I was like, it's so weird about the fireworks show. So I was like, okay, that's strange, but it was just that little moment of her saying, I forgive him. But yeah, for me, it was like the only thing that gave me a question, because I was like, okay, maybe she's in this like, I mean, I didn't know her at all. I didn't know anything about her. So I thought, oh my gosh, maybe she's in this horrible situation. She's being trotted out there. Is he even cold? Like, what is going on? She's out there on stage, 1 million people, this open air stadium, all this stuff, or I guess it's closed. But anyway, so she's out there, she's on in front of every person on earth. And then maybe she had a moment of vulnerability, and she is truly, like she is relying on faith in this such a real way in this moment, even if everything else around her is like, so I just was like, let me just give her, let me hold off.
So funny.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. Because at first I was, the minute I saw her with the window open.
Yeah. No, for me,
like, no, she's bad.
When she was up there saying, I forgive that young man. No. Okay. I clocked that as being so fake. But what I did think was, and I think even Candace was still on board at this time, was, are you trapped? Blink twice. Do you need help? Like, are you trapped too? But I clocked it as being the fakest thing I have ever seen for the sympathy, the tugging at the heartstrings of Christians as the widow. Like, that to me was ridiculous. And also, nobody forgives like that. Like, I'm sorry. And also it made me mad because it was like, it made everybody else feel like there was something wrong with us for not being able to. And even Candace spoke to that. Like, I don't think I could do that, so easily, so soon.
And then moving on to this, like going to do events and stuff. I mean, you haven't even grieved yet. And I just pull this up real quick. As you guys are talking, I'm pulling stuff up because my memory's going. I'm like, okay. So Brian Farnsworth is Terrell. So the one that's on, if anybody doesn't know, I think everybody knows. This is Terrell, right? The one that took SD card. Yep. And that's, I believe, his brother, Brian Farnsworth. Okay. They both do the camera stuff. I already took this, but he's now made his account private. Just letting you know. Okay. This was a long time ago. This was September 16th. When he posted this, like, come on, like, how many days after?
Also, why is all of TPUSA meeting with the head of the state? Like, okay, I get it if you wanted to come through and like say like, I'm so sorry about your loss and stuff, but why are they always in the orbit? Why is
he's sure that JD, our vice sectional, that's what I call him, he sure is involved in this story, isn't he? When I'm not sure that he really needed to be to the level that he was. And that is something that we should be keeping in mind. Who are the people that insert themselves into the story when maybe it would not be wholly appropriate for them to do so? I mean, think about the fact that, now, is this before or after Kirk Vance 2028, Vance Kirk 2028 was reserved as a website? Because I think that might have been September.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one.
Yeah, I think this was right before they reserved that.
Is it? Okay.
Before.
Not too much earlier though.
Right, and it's like, okay, so how were you already part of this plan? How were you already part of this plan to host the show, to transport the body, to come and make sure that you're the one hugging Erica, to come and make sure that you guys are pre-positioned almost. That the website.
And look what it says here. Thank you for Vice President for stepping in to guest host the Charlie Kirk show on Monday. No one can fill Charlie's seat, but the show must go on. And he's not the first one who said the show must go on. Like Philip Goldberry said, it gives me the ick. And you're doing all these events, and it's just. And I even think back to, because I have a good memory with the Jesse Waters and when they did the Legacy Award, and she received so many awards, right? How many awards did she get? Well, she's on behalf of Charlie, I guess, the Legacy Award.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesse Waters was reading out before she came out there saying the death of Charlie was a turning point for this nation, is what he said. Was a turning point.
I mean, it feels like, what it feels like to me? It feels like they had a phase 1 plan. They had like a plan, right? And then it kind of fell apart. And then they've been scrambling with the phase 2. And I get the feeling that right now we're in phase 3. That's been my impression. Rio and I did a stream on it about Darvo and about the fact that it is just feels like they have been following this. They've been scrambling along with this playbook, and they have been trying their best to make it work however they think that it can. And so when we're looking at what the original initial plan was, that's how I kind of separated in my mind. It's like they had that first month, maybe. I get the feeling that by the time Accurate Energetic Systems, this is just my opinion, but by the time Accurate Energetic Systems blew up, then I would assume that their initial plan had blown up too. So that's kind of how I have been separating it out. I'll think to myself, okay, so everything before AES went up, and that was October 10th. And then we had our phase 2, which kind of took place from October 10th all the way through. I clock it at like 4th of July because that's the next time that Andrew went and visited with our vice sectional there. And so I think of that as like phase 2. And now we're in this phase 3, which is why they are attacking people. They are, why Blake Neff is in a space. It's like if we say his name 3 times, he'll pop up in our chat, I'm sure. With
as soon as court started, he's in spaces.
Right? Oh my gosh. With his federal handler, whichever one. I know that he had Myron, unfortunately, on the first night. He had Myron, who I think just happened to be in there and had to shut that thing down real quick. Don't think that people didn't notice that. Coach does a great section on that, if people haven't noticed. And then they have now had him paired with Gary, friend of the show. And ever since then, it's like, well, okay, so that you were never doing that before, Blake. What happened? What changed? Why is it Agent Poso's there, with a 1,000-yard stare telling us that he saw a leftist kill Charlie Kirk in 4K on the top of the list? I mean, come on, like the guy, I'm like, is it MK? I don't know. So, and then we have, Andrew all of a sudden doing his little heel turn where he's being a real, like, he's gotten aggressive and started getting really, really like aggro, especially with Candace. And it's like they're in this phase 3 that I feel like they plotted later. But in this phase 1, JD, he was central. He was front and center. He was carrying the casket, wasn't he? And so with him being so involved, and then I think once things went off the rails, my feeling is that because this is a very important and powerful person, the important and powerful ones, once they realized that the initial plan wasn't working, they started hiding those guys from the situation. They're like, no, you're not involved. Tyler, don't tweet anything. You're not involved. JD, don't say anything. Don Jr. So the ones that actually do have power were kind of hidden, which is what you do if everything is going to hack, and it seems like it did blow up.
Before. And I think why the whole entire world is just so pissed off is just how fast they moved on, and the smiling, just the vibe. Right.
Yeah, I'm angry with how stupid they are. Okay, I'm going to look into the camera when I say this. If you ever are involved in some kind of crime or something that you shouldn't be doing, do not. Please hire an outside agency, an outside audit to go through and give you a PR plan. Do not do it from the inside out because you have no idea what you're doing. Like, this is very clear. This was a mess, and they relied on their own hired people, probably an echo chamber, to tell them, oh yeah, this is a great idea. Because Ana and I have talked about how we perfectly could have gotten away with this a little bit better.
Yeah. What a real PR strategy would look like and what they should have actually done. But for some reason, they are relying on the world's worst PR person. Sorry, Andy, jigs up. Okay. And so unfortunately, they have decided to basically keep it in-house. That's not going to work, brother. You are not good at this. And whatever your actual...
Do you think it's purposely done, though? Like that picture that Gary Paramount Tactical posted, and he wasn't supposed to share that. Remember the finger over the children?
Yes.
Do you think that was like, I don't know. I always thought that was like on purpose.
To be bad?
Yeah, okay, like maybe I don't know. My mind goes everywhere.
You know what, Kit? Okay, so something that I am keeping in the back of my mind, I'm not saying that this is what's happened. I am not. But it is something that I roll around in my mind quite a bit. And that is the idea that potentially some of the actual strategy is to make sure that Erica, for example, is the one who gets blamed for all of this. Because generally speaking, if you're talking about an operation that requires a cover up to the level of the federal government, et cetera, then you need to have scapegoats in case everything goes left. And there is one person who has been continually put in our face in a little Janet Jackson. I mean, I know I'm wearing all black today, but like, at least I don't have a little hat on and a crazy expression. Like, there's been one person and they keep wheeling her out there. They keep putting her front and center. They keep saying, Erica, get on stage. Babe, listen, you look great. You look great in the little hat. Make sure you look at them strong, and they want to see strength in their leader. So give them the shocked face and tell them, stop, just stop. Someone is coaching her into doing that. Yeah. Someone is making her do that. And someone is saying, Erica, get back out there, babe. Get back out there. Now, who is it that runs her social media? Who is it that ran Charlie's social media? Well, I can only think of one person, and that is the world's worst PR man, Andrew Coleman himself. So I cannot help but wonder, is it possible that you're doing that in order to make sure that everybody looks at the spouse? Because as soon as we stop looking at the spouse, who do we look at next? The business
partner. It's usually the spouse and the business partner together, isn't it?
And you remember that on Fox when she that's what changed it for my partner, because like men probably have more grace and women are more intuitive and know the vibe is up with her. So it was that when she was doing the book tour, the Stop in the Name of God. So first Rob McCoy's in November, he's in overseas doing the book tour. In December she was wearing a red blazer. That's when she was saying stop, right? Stop, just stop.
Yes.
That one right there hit it for my partner. He's just like, she said, we're going to be building the most beautiful museum for my Charlie, our Charlie. And I'm thinking, a museum style. Okay, well, you had all this time, so where is the shrine? Where is his body? Where is it? And why are you keeping the mic? Why are you keeping the necklace? But you chuck away the SUV
on display.
Right, you know, JFK, they kept the SUV. Why did you chuck that away? I think I would want to keep that. I'm sorry, in a lot somewhere until the trial's over. That's just me, and I've seen many crimes before. And you don't just chuck it away in 6 days or however many days it was, or auction it off in 6 days.
I think this is a really good segue for that portion.
I think that's a great thing.
We can get right into that. It's up to Anna. Yeah.
No, guys, this is a joint stream. This is a roundtable. I'm not in charge of anything, honey. Please don't do that. No. But it's a great point. I think that we absolutely should talk about the fact that the SUV, it's relevant. And yes, somehow the bloody microphone in the tent were available to be, you can go and take your photo with it like you're at flipping Disney World.
And that was disgusting.
And I am so sick of the way that they handled that. That's disgusting.
And then do a selfie in front of, and I just thought it was just, I don't even have the words. I don't even know what words I can give for that.
I can't.
I don't even know, like, who would want to take a picture there? I would be like,
right. I know. Can you imagine? I mean, okay, when we're talking about the grift, I'm going to hop over to those. I just want to make sure we get to introduce them and everything like that. Yep. But when we're talking about the grift, what makes someone seem like a grifter? What makes someone seem like a grifter? Wouldn't it maybe possibly be the fact that they were going through the 6 stages of grief and one of them was merch, right? Like hats. Didn't she throw hats at a point, or was it just that she was on camera talking about their merch sales, guys?
It was like 6 days later, and she was like, it was after his memorial, excuse me, and she said, we just pulled off the biggest event. I'm sorry. Like, you don't refer to your husband's memorial as the biggest event, like it's like a sorority function.
She was in the office starting the next week. She was in the office. She was in the office physically in person. This is according to our Turning Point insider, who's talked about it before. She was in the office the next week.
By the way, never in the office before.
Never. Right. She used to be, okay, this is not me saying this. I would never, ever call another woman a loser. But the words that I have heard associated directly with Erica Kirk by individuals who work there is, who the heck is she? She's a loser. She was a loser. She was weird. And I'm like, okay, guys, like that's tough, but what does that mean?
Is Arizona a loser?
Yeah. Is Arizona a loser? What is that? And then she all of a sudden wants to come on camera and do like a sales update, do a sales call, and then come into the office and hang out with everybody to make sure that the freedom shirts go out and that she publishes his private letters to her as a pitch to do some more of that fundraising that they have been so focused on. I mean, it's just, I'm sorry. I get really mad when I start talking about them.
Yeah, like how can you even process any of that? You I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat and you guys yourself have lost someone. I can't even process going into office and talking about that kind of stuff. Just
No,
beyond my
just losing my
beyond the
dog.
universe of realm. I
Yeah.
don't know how she did it. I don't know.
Just losing my dog would cause me to, like, I wouldn't even be able to talk about it forever without crying, much less my husband, who, listen, they weren't married 30 years and they didn't hate each other. They weren't at that point. Like, you have 2 small children. This is your husband of only 4 years. It's still, you're kind of still should be in that honeymoon phase if you really love someone.
Yeah.
And if it was really all of a sudden, like, what? I
think they were selling the home. I don't know. Maybe it was Rocky, but that's just a rumor. But who sells their home like 8 months before?
They had that appointment coming up on Monday for a possible potential change to his will. They had an appointment the following Monday. There was supposed to be potentially a change to his will. And, someone said it to me once, and I'll never forget it because it stuck with me ever since. She acts more like a divorcee than she ever does a widow. And that really,
it looks like it's like the relief came off of her. And that's like, Ana and I were talking about this phase 3 rollout of their plan. And it is a character assassination of Charlie to make him seem like he was somebody to the public and a different person behind closed doors.
A martyr.
And that is where they are rolling with this, with saying that he was publicly in support of Candace, but behind the scenes wasn't. So you're telling us that he's a two-faced liar? What's the next thing you're going to say? And we were like coming up with it. We're like, oh, I'm just waiting for it. I'm just waiting for her to say, I was miserable. He was treating me horribly. He had me isolated and that's why I just felt, I was torn, but why I felt so much better, like being out of this marriage. And because you can see that in a marriage that's lasted 30, 40 years where one person is very narcissistically abusive and they're torn when that person passes because, it was their person, but they're like, finally, like I can breathe, and that to me was the way she was acting.
Right. And she always wanted him away. She would be like, don't worry, babe. Home is always here for you. Just go do your thing. I'm like, what? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I miss my man if he's not home. If he's not home, I miss him.
Well, he was a naive young man who was a virgin whenever he got married, and he had never been in another relationship. So there's nothing to compare it with. So no matter how bad it really was between them, he had no real context, right? True. And she cut off the internet at their house. She had that all hardwired in. So, at work, he's being controlled by Andrew and blah, 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 blah. Then you go home on the weekends, you can't even talk to your parents unless they call the landline,
It's bizarre.
And I'm just,
and they had control of his electronics. Like, as far as I know, they were all logged into his electronics as well. So they had talk about the Truman Show. Also, I think my camera's lagging. So hang on just a second. Let me put this stuff up on the stage. And I'm going to try to fix my camera.
And before I forget to ask you about the phone, how she can take his phone. Isn't that evidence? Can you tell me, Rio, about that? Because I'm trying to understand why she had the necklace, the phone. Those are things that she shouldn't have.
Well, I mean, you're spot on, and you can stop trying to struggle to understand like everybody else because it makes no sense. That stuff should have been confiscated and kept in an evidence locker, just as they do with everything else. They put things in evidence for 30 years and it never comes out. But the data should have been pulled from his phone. She shouldn't have just been turned around. It makes no sense to me. Just these are some of the stupid mistakes they didn't account for.
I agree. And then, not keeping the SUV, as y'all know, the SUV.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Rio have been going over this, and Ana, the SUV is kind of, we don't know where it is. So what I found was interesting, that was kind of new. We didn't really talk about it. It says here on the 12th of, the December 26, 2024, it was first in Colorado.
I'm
not even gonna like.
I'm
Colorado.
Let's see. Allie, what I sent you, I'm currently going to convert to a PDF if at
This one?
any point you
This
want to
one?
refer to that.
This one?
Is it the green one? I can't see. Hang on.
Tell me if it's on the screen, guys. Hold on. Did you bring it up?
Yeah.
There it is. That one, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's
There you go.
correct.
I had to put it on 2 pages like that so it fits so everybody can read it.
Understand. So whenever Allie and I were going back and forth on some like what happened to the SUV, there were just so many moving parts, but not a lot. The chronology is like really short, but I don't even want to call it the chain of custody, but like tracking the thing was difficult. So she had all this amazing information, like from Carfax and auctions. And so what I did was I put it in this kind of like spreadsheet chronologically, so that we could kind of like try to tease out like what happened step by step and where that vehicle might be.
Right.
Or what happened to it.
Right. And it's so weird that it starts in Colorado. That's where I didn't look at that before. Before we were just like, oh my God, we got these pictures. And as you guys know, if you don't know the story, Candace released some pictures of the SUV, but she didn't release the license plate and the redacted stuff. There was a gentleman online named Mike V. He's from Utah. He posted it. He's the one who gave it to Candace. I stumbled upon it, went through it with my friend Wisha, and we're like, this is not out. Let's put it out. And I messaged him, and then he came on my live. So I did 2 live streams, and now 3 live streams with him. He gave those photos to Candace and posted it himself. I think that's why she did the emergency live, because he already put it out. But Baron put out a photo too of the chest. So I don't think people were really looking at SUV at that time. Now they're looking at the photo of Baron's that went out on Friday as well. So we were looking at these SUV things, and clear photos, no redactions. Everything is so clear. Oh my gosh. I put out the license plate. All the crowdsourced girls like Mia, everybody on line was helping. I did a second show with Danks. He kind of helped too to find out where the vehicle went kind of afterwards, because it went to salvage and then we think it went to Georgia or Russia or somewhere we don't know. That's where it stands right now. But for 6 days, from the 10th to the 16th, we don't know where the vehicle was. So we don't know where it was put, if it was investigated. And it couldn't have been investigated, guys, because all the stuff was still in it. The shards of glass, the piece of fabric, everything was still in there. If you're doing an investigation, you're going to take that stuff, not tell the cleaning crew to clean it and get rid of it. Allegedly, because everything here is allegedly.
Allegedly, of course, yeah. And so let's, if you want to, let's quickly kind of go through this together, and we can talk about it, because you never know who knows something.
Absolutely.
Okay, so to start you guys off, this was a 2025 Denali. Okay, so even though it was sold in December of 24, this is when it came from GMC, from the manufacturer. Okay, came straight from there. And just so y'all know, so my family is in car sales, and I've gone to these auctions and stuff, so it does kind of help to have a little bit of context with some of this stuff, because just reading it straight up is kind of hard to put together. So I was applying that as I was looking at this. So this is a 2025. So of course, even though it's 24, obviously they've got the next year out. So this is a brand new, beautiful Denali, by the way. The first dealership, right, gets it at the very end of December 24. And that is in Lone Tree, Colorado, pretty close to Denver. So they purchased it from, sorry, they didn't purchase it. It came from GMC to them. We can see.
And registered as a rental, right? Yeah.
Well, so you have on the 26th, somebody purchased it from the dealership. And then the next day, whoever that was, registered it as a rental in California. Now, let me just tell you this. You can register anything. Like, you don't actually have to have the vehicle in the state to do that. right?
Mhm.
So I was thinking at that time, after I put together some more of the stuff, I don't think it was ever driven to California at this point. Later down the road, it is. Because then you have 2 months later, it's purchased
Oh,
again.
February, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
February.
February 5th. And to me, the vehicle hadn't moved at all. So although it was registered as a rental back in December, it was not used as a rental because by the time it sold in February, it only had 7 miles on it. So
Yes.
it wasn't used. And the Utah DMV, anyways, it was Utah sales tax, only had 7 miles on it. So I said probably never left Utah in the first place. And I say Utah because remember, it was purchased in Colorado, but they didn't drive it down.
So
They
we're
either,
talking about like they hauled it somewhere, right? Because
yeah,
it wasn't driven. Okay.
right.
So let's
So,
clarify that, guys, because I was saying they drove it from here to there, but they can also tow it and haul it, right? Okay.
right. And they do end up doing that. So Allie is correct. We were just kind of trying to really like hammer down on this. So tell me, so it was purchased probably in Colorado. We know that. Probably never went to California. They just registered it there, whatever. And then
Yeah.
whoever did that was like, I'm just going to sell the damn thing. So they purchased it in Utah, and then they register it in Utah that the next couple days. So this Denali has Utah tags. And then sometime between February and when Charlie went down, right? We don't really know who it was registered to, what was going on. And then that's when we get to the information Allie has about the cleaning, right?
Shocking information. Yeah.
Do we
Yeah,
know
so
if that was
it came the 16th onto the Copart auction site on the 16th of September. And it was
Right.
towed there. I have confirmation from the client that it was towed there.
okay? Okay, interesting.
And it was in that condition that we saw the photos, right? Where it still had glass on the inside, it had blood on the inside, you know, sorry, on the inside, and had those little whatever that was. It also had a little bag that looks like for a pulse oximeter. I think that's what that was. On the inside, it had those whatever those bags were. What were those bags? It was like they almost look like Chipotle bags. I don't know. They were
the only thing he said he didn't see from her Candace's original pictures, because Candace did post some other pictures. I guess she gets them from all different sources. This is like, you got to understand, like, people are there, they're taking photos. So maybe the tow truck took pictures and sent it to Candace. I don't know. All allegedly, guys. So because she has fresh pictures of that fabric, it's really, really the B word. I don't want to say it. So it's really saturated with that. So that has to be more fresher picture. Don't know where she got that. I don't think it was from Mike. But these ones were like, 6 days old. Obviously, those pieces were a little bit more. It looked burnt, right? That's why, because it dried up, maybe in the sun. I don't know. It's just sitting in there. But yeah, he did say that candies weren't in there. So the candies weren't in there.
The mints?
Yeah, the mints, those yellow wrappers weren't in there, but the clothes hanger was in there.
So there's 2 separate sets of photographs that we're talking about for the actual SUV that were taken both sometime between September 10th and September 16th. So we have 2 photo sets. Okay. Now we know that the photo set that you're referring to, Al, that you like actually, were able to get your hands on, amazing, by the way. Those ones were taken on September 16th at the auto park, right?
Copart auction, in Utah.
Copart
auction. And so
and that would be in Salt Lake.
Yeah. In Salt Lake. Now but you're saying that this other set of photos that was taken, and it would have been taken before, we know that because it was cleaned at that at that auction house, right? So the vehicle was like ripped out, the seats were ripped out, the cleaning actually happened at that auto place. So
they hired a hazmat cleaning company to do it.
Okay.
So
hazmat, guys.
What was the evidence that was actually in the photos that are the ones that Candace had? Because you're saying that those were taken at a different time, sometime before, by another person, possibly the tow truck. We don't know exactly where Candace got her hands on them. She's magic. She gets her hands on stuff. But
all I have to say, like, I tried to, like, because there was a lot of people coming to the chat and saying these are the same ones, and they were all like, yeah, like the time I did the chat, the live stream, everybody was yelling at me, not yelling at me, but coming in there going, ah, this is Candace's photos from December. No, they're not. They're not. Like, you got to understand, she gets stuff from everywhere, every corner. But Mike did send these sets to her, and these were new ones. That's why she did emergency live on that Friday before she went on vacation, which was like June 26th or something. I went live on the 29th because I found that Mike posted it, and that's when I went live. And so these are all new, but she did post newer ones just recently again. And that piece of fabric looks more fresh. So she must have got that from somebody else. I don't know if it was the tow truck driver. It has to be somebody that had it like that day.
Day. Fabric was in the photos that Candace released. Was that piece of fabric also in the photos that you released? Yes.
Yep. So but they were like, they looked more old and burnt.
The ones that you have.
Yeah. I can show it here somewhere here. Hold on.
Because I think that obviously, like I said, changes like this is the sort of thing that I think as investigators we should be tracking along with, because wherever Candace did get those photos, we don't know. But if there were things that were removed in between, then there could be some relevance to that. I'm not saying that whoever provided Candace with the photos went and took something out of it, but it could be that the SBI, FBI, etc. showed up and said, hey, we need to grab this or that. So the difference between the photos, that is worth us actually like getting into detail on. That's why I think that.
And this is the one that Mike. This is the one that Mike.
Okay, so we have the Mike pics, which are yours, and then we have the other pics from Candace, but we do not know where did she.
This is the. I don't know who gave this because this wasn't in the SUV. So we got this. So this is from Mike, and I'll show you. Candace just posted just recently this and
Can
this.
You just call them, and just for ease of me, because I'm trying to write this down, can you just call them your pics? Because we know the date of your pics, we know September 16th, and then we'll call them Candace's pics just for ease so that I can.
Yeah. This is Candace's pics. Yeah, this is Candace. This was her most recent one. This looks more fresh, as in Mike's looks more, as you can see, looks more sitting there for a little bit of time.
Sorry, can you say Candace's and yours, honey, just so that I can keep them straight in my mind? Otherwise, I won't be able to.
So this one, no, this one's Mike's. Hold on. Am I late on? How late am I on this?
Hold on. Sorry.
What do you see on the stage right now? Can you see? Okay. What's on the stage right now? Yeah, that's Mike's.
Mike's is in the ones that were given to you.
They were not. I found them, but he also gave this to Candace, and Candace also posted these. But the only thing she didn't post was the license plate and the unredacted, like the window. You know how she blurred out the window?
Yeah. She didn't want to get sued for doxing somebody, I guarantee. And she knew we would. So
these are the ones that were posted by Candace.
She did also post this because Mike did give it to her. Yes.
I'm just trying to figure out which ones were older versus newer. And so
so she did post these
the ones 26th and the ones that are from the 29th. Right?
Yes. Yes. Okay, so she did post these ones. But did you watch her most recent one? She also posted another one. I don't know where she got that. So that's this one. She posted the glove and this, which was most recent. And I don't know where she got that from.
I'm like, Candace, if you somehow see this, please.
Hold on.
This is more fresh, as you can see.
Okay. Hold on just 1 second. Let me ingrain this into my mind. Okay.
Yep.
Will you now go back to the side-by-side with Mike's?
1 second.
Okay. I will say that this appears to be the same piece because of the layout, right? I wonder, and this is just a thought, if it's a difference in resolution of cameras that they're coming from. Maybe one's like an iPhone and one is one is a Samsung. And I will say too, it looks like the one on the left is like the original, And did he then zoom in on the photo, or is that a separate photo? Does that make sense?
I
Right.
zoomed it in and I didn't change the clarity or the
Perfect.
photo editing. I didn't edit it at all. Like I didn't change the filter.
Okay.
So these are from Mike's the way they are. And you can go to Mike V's page and you can go look in his photo section and you guys can download them all and just do your and look at it for yourself. So
This
they
is
are
something
still there.
around me.
But I feel like
So-
I don't know, like what she posted just recently is the gloves.
Uh-huh.
And these are
That's
things
a
I want to
separate
ask the client,
photo.
right? I didn't get a chance to ask him yet. And this one looks more fresh to me. I don't know what you think, Rio, like it, or Anna. I don't.
It does certainly look more fresh, but I'm looking at the dimensions of it, and it's also laying on that strip right there.
Yep.
Flip back
So-
between just the two. Let's skip the glove for right now and just flip back to the
Okay.
other one.
So let's see. It's sitting right here and right there on the edge. Okay, let me go back.
It's got a piece of bacon that looks flipped up. That's
Yeah,
the
it looks
same
like
thing.
it's the same. It's never
That's-
been left. It just
Yeah,
looks the
that's
same.
right. So
We-
it does look like it could be a question of resolution, you know, for the actual camera, but it also could be that it was taken at significantly different times. If we go back to, so we'll call it the fresh one, just for ease of what we're, you know, as we're discussing this, go back to the fresh one. Okay, it could be another resolution. It certainly is another angle, right? Because this one appears like it was taken over top more so than it being taken from the doorway, which is what the old one looks
True.
like to me. Anyway.
However, yes, that is true. Maybe the difference in the saturation of the color, because I'm seeing on here how the right side looks fresh because it looks like it's smeared thinner, but on the left side it does look like dried old blood.
The congealed portion at the top, which could be, we still have to consider that could be congealed blood, yes, especially if that is a clotting gauze. That is what a dried piece of clotting gauze would also look like. But the question becomes, does it look different in this image versus the other one? Because maybe we can get a better look. That's the problem. It could be singeing.
It could be
congealed blood, either one.
It could also be the lighting. Maybe the light source from the sun was different from this. From
True.
where this
And
thing
yeah,
was
it could be
taken.
multiple. And also the client did say, like, you know, everybody came in to take pictures. I'm pretty sure the
Everybody.
tow truck took
Who's
pictures.
everybody?
I mean, people that were hovering around the SUV, they found out that was Charlie's SUV that came into the auction lot. So there was a commotion around the vehicle. So that was shared with us. And then I don't know.
The same piece. It is definitely the same piece.
It is. It's exactly the word. It's just a different filter. I don't know what you want to say.
Or different day. Or
different day. Yeah.
be.
But this
Can
is
you go to the
one that
glove?
Candace actually posted. This is not Mike's. So this is Mike's.
And that is nice. Okay. And that to
Yeah.
me almost looks like, it looks like one of the photos maybe was taken with either a different kind of camera or was just taken with the camera closer to the item itself, whereas Mike's could be a wide shot. And then, yes, we've just zoomed in on a wide shot.
Yeah,
So that
zoomed. Yeah, I did
It-
zoom this in. This was the actual original picture. Yeah.
So it could be that Mike is standing, you know, at the doorway and then the other person was standing in the doorway. Do you know what I mean? Like they're like both,
Yes.
they could be standing side by side, and that would make sense for how these photos were taken. It is interesting with the color difference, but I think that the closer one is helpful because it does have that like ability to actually for us to, you know, zoom in on the intricacies. But I think that I like this photo as well because it shows the position so much better.
It shows the position from a distance, whereas Candace just showed the zoomed in thing.
Right.
I like the fact that he showed everything. Like you can see, he shows everything here. Like,
oh yeah,
it's not redacted.
Right.
What bothers me about this too, which was odd, and Anna and I had talked about this, is it looks like this was okay. You can see on the seat there's a hand smear, and then like on the back part of the seat, and then you can see like in the seat where you're sitting, obviously there's blood right there. But to me, with the amount of bleeding that was going on with
I don't
him,
know if we can.
This looks like
Yes.
it was either the water that they poured over top of him, or they had tried to smear it and clean it up before. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And we're like, we can't do it because
Right.
it just does not look like, I mean, why aren't the floorboards covered?
Right.
I mean,
Well,
I
you can
guess you can
see
see the
also
scratch.
they took, I don't know who did it. It could be anybody. The mats are over here. They took
Mm.
the mats out of there. I don't know. I don't know who did it.
Well, and
But
let's
with the
think about
way these pictures came is the way the vehicle came before they touched it. So what you
Right.
see is what they took before they removed everything out, like, and cleaned it and stuff.
Right,
That makes any
absolutely.
sense.
It's interesting that no, it makes perfect sense. And let's think about the fact that, guys, these images are from the 16th, which means that for the 6 days prior, the 6 days between the actual boom and these images being taken, where was this car? Where was this car? And why was it left in that condition? Because
Why
this
didn't they
does not,
take the evidence out of here?
there's so much evidence being left behind. What if there was DNA? What if
Crazy.
there's DNA that's exculpatory that could be on one of the items still left in the vehicle? If this was a serious investigation, what if there's, DNA evidence? You need to take a sample, but when we're talking about things that may or may not have been on the person, for example, what if one of these glass shards, it's just a serious investigation means that you do actually have to collect the evidence, and that is so clearly not what was being done during that time
No.
frame. So where was this car?
I don't know what Rio thinks, like, in cases, where there's going to be a trial, things change. I've seen stuff where they need the vehicle, like, get the vehicle. There's something that happened in the case that,
You
something
lock it down.
changed,
Mhm.
and now we need the vehicle. We need to, and it's a case has been solved from that. So for them to remove this right away, this is where I can understand it. We're keeping necklaces and phones in our possession, but we're just getting rid of this like it's garbage. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't either. And like, okay, so two things that come up for me. One, another body that would have the pictures, more pictures and knowledge about what was going on the inside of this is the insurance company. Because I guarantee they had to total this vehicle out or something.
They salvaged it.
Salvaged it, yes. So that was it. Like the insurance company is only going to pay you out if you're going to salvage the vehicle. So
Right.
that's one thing to just kind of percolate in your mind. But second, like what you're saying about vehicles and things being solved. I don't know if y'all know about who Morgan Nick is. She was a little girl who went missing in like an Arkansas ballpark in like 1997.
Mhm.
And they could not figure it out. Well, they finally they tracked down this man's the vehicle they thought it was. And it was like 30 years later. I mean, it was recent. And they actually went in to take fibers out of like the floorboard and stuff, hoping that it would be a match. And they're not sure, but they were able to like compare the green fibers in the floor to like this little Girl Scout sweater that she was wearing at the time. So, I mean, this stuff is very important, but why get it to that, point where you lose
And you can see in this picture here how clear it is. Like, Candace didn't release these in this clarity, guys. I suggest you go to Mike V's page or go to my page so you can connect and go look at his photos. It's Michael V. If you go down on my page, you'll find him. It's like you can see here. I put it together here. Sorry, this is this over here. So this over here is this.
Right, this
You
is
can
zoomed in.
see, yeah, you can see that's been left there, and even behind the bottle, you can see some kind of lettering here. Like we analyzed this already on my live stream. Like it looks like there's more shrapnel underneath this water bottle. I don't know what this white stuff is on that black thing, but you can see
Right.
it's everywhere. Look, it's so clear. It's on
It is
the
literally
seat here.
everywhere.
It's everywhere.
I want to ask you what you think about this theory, because this has been kind of, after I saw the car photos, this is kind of where my mind went. If it were the case that the men who got into the car with Charlie were there on purpose, just this is pure spec, okay? But if they had gotten into the car with Charlie and the way that they describe his actual body laying in the car, might it make sense if somebody like Rick and somebody like Brian, who were sitting in those captain chairs in the rear, if they were there to intentionally plant evidence and destroy evidence, right? If they were there to, I don't know, I don't want to, I'm not going to be graphic, of course we're on stream, but to place the actual fragments within the person, right? To place them along the wound tracks, because I know that we described putting 36 feet, 32 feet, 36 feet of gauze. That's not a thing. Like, that makes no sense. That is not a thing even a little bit, but it would, for me, explain the gloves, possibly, potentially. If you needed to put, I don't know, bullet frags into someone and you didn't want to have your own fingerprints on them or own DNA.
Yes.
You should wear gloves. Or if you were trying to wipe off this, whatever, this shards of whatever that may be, and you wanted to get them off of him because they had been put on him when you yanked him off of his chair, basically dropped him onto the ground, and then for some reason rolled his shirt up in the same way that we all used to, have you ever like taken your shirt and then you put something in there, like a little pouch? Okay, well,
Yes.
It looked to me very much like his shirt was being held up around his collarbone, therefore actually covering the area of an entry wound, if there was one, right? And then also would be keeping all of those little fragments in those pieces of glass. And then if Rick Cutler is sitting up there and Brian Harple and Rick Cutler are sitting there and they know that they have 8 minutes to get Charlie to the ED, looking like he was a GSW victim, or at least as close as they could get him, right? Wouldn't this
They would have to shove the thing in him, I guess, like
you would. Well, and it's awful.
Fragments of something. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's possible.
Doesn't Rick Cutler strike you as the kind of person that maybe would be brought in? I mean, and again, not an allegation of wrongdoing, but I don't know if Brian Harple would have had the stomach for it. And I don't think Frank Turek was even supposed to be in that car. That's my opinion. But what I think is that Rick Cutler may have been brought in for exactly that. It would make sense to me that if you need to have your, it'd have to be someone with a heck of a stomach and with a heck of a lot of knowledge background. And he sure does seem like the type that would be potentially, hypothetically, allegedly willing to toss on some gloves, plant some evidence, try to destroy some other evidence, and have Charlie showing up to an ER with at least enough to, they probably thought he would trick the security cameras or the personnel, but at the very least showing up with some fragments that could be found later on in evidence, and you pretend that you're putting in gauze while you're doing it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. That way you could actually advance it along a wound pathway. And so I'm sorry, I don't want to get too graphic and medical and all of this stuff, but what I'd say is, if I were trying to think about how I was going to get a frag into a wound cavity, like a tunnel, right? You would put the frag at the end of some gauze, and then you would push a bunch of gauze into that entry port. And then if that would push the actual frag itself into wherever the end of that wound tunnel is. I'm sorry I know that's very quickly, but that's how things like wound care is done. If you need to get something, and when I heard them say 32, 36 feet, I said, was that just to get the frag to where it needed to be?
And wouldn't they take the shirt off to assess him and stuff? Like, he's saying that he jumped on top of Charlie at the hospital and cut his shirt off, and
he probably needed to. He probably, when they arrived, not probably, allegedly, hypothetically, could have needed to get something. Maybe he saw something last minute that was going to be a giveaway to the situation. That's the only thing I can think of that would explain him jumping on him like that last minute. You didn't, because you weren't jumping on him before, were you? You weren't even doing CPR. That was Frank Turek, allegedly. And so maybe
30 seconds. Now he corrected himself 30 seconds after, he's almost at the hospital, because he said he was pounding on his chest the whole time. Now it's I correct myself, and he said, right. Candace makes mistakes all the time, and she redoes. I go, she wasn't there. I did a live stream. I'm like, she wasn't there. She's allowed to change her mind with the evidence that's brought to her. You were there. How do you not remember? And he, by the way, he's done a ton of podcasts and a ton of shows where he says the same thing over and over and over again. But now that Candace has said this, he's redacting what he said and said, oh, no, I only did CPR 30 seconds before I got to the hospital.
My personal, my little tinfoil is that potentially my thought is that Frank Turek was never supposed to be in the car. I do not think so. I do not think that the plan was for Frank Turek to be in the car, because personally, if I were planning something where I needed a cleanup crew, I would not. pastoral
Mike is
team.
here. Mike is
Mike?
here.
Hey.
Mike Scissor Hands.
Hey,
You want to bring?
Mike.
If you want to
I'm
bring
so
him up, you can
excited.
tell him. Just send him a link. I can send him.
Okay, I don't know how to do that. Can someone help me do that? Because I'm not sure
I
how to
can
do
send. I can if he
You
want.
can do
If he's free, you can
Sure.
ask.
That's awesome.
Are you free to talk, Mike? I'd love to send you a link if you're free to talk.
Right. Yeah, and so
his
I was
name is
doing
Mike Scissorhands. Do you see him there? I think that's him.
You're so good at spotting this stuff. I'm like, you're a real professional. But I did want to say, you know, the thing is that when we are thinking about who the individuals were, I'm like, I just want to finish this thought. When we're thinking about who the individuals were who would or would not have been trusted with the cleanup job, with getting everything together, making sure that Charlie showed up at the hospital. If hypothetically I were tasking people with that, I would not be tasking the pastoral team. That's just me. I know that Frank does have a medical background. However, it would just be more challenging. I would rather have some specific individuals who I could control and train in order to handle that portion of the situation. And so when I saw that Frank Turek was the only person who looked like he had a genuine reaction to the actual boom, I saw Frank Turek, he hits the deck. He acts normal in that moment. And then all the security guys, well, you know, then they go to the car. As they're dragging Charlie to the car, what I observed was the fact that, you know, okay, we see Justin Davis hop into the driver's seat. We see Dan Flood hop into the passenger seat. We see Justin Davis, or excuse me, we see Rick Cutler move around to the rear driver's side, and we see Brian Harple with Charlie going in on his side. And what I observed in that moment was, you know, but Frank Turek tries to follow Rick Cutler into the SUV. When you see him actually getting to the SUV, Frank Turek tries to follow him in there, but he doesn't have room. They don't make room for him. They do not make room for him. And what I thought to myself was, I wonder if something got messed up in that SUV ride. I wonder if there was not a plan to have Frank Turek there, because what I observed was maybe Frank thought all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I need to go, because he doesn't realize that the guys are all moving to their individual doorways as though they had trained and practiced for just such an event. Who knows?
Yeah.
But then for some reason he tries to get in and they don't let him in. They won't let him in. He has to hop his little behind into the trunk, and then he has to get into that third row, which is why, in my estimation, it is very potentially possible that Frank was not supposed to be in that car. Because for me, that would explain why everything went so badly in them not actually taking care of the cleanup. And then they said, Frank, just pray. Frank, just, you know, like, what are you going to do? You can't kick him out, right? So you still have to drive all the way to the hospital, but everything seems to have been messed up during that car ride. And it came in as such a show, as such a S show, that I really do think that there's a question. And that also for me would explain why Frank does not know how to have the right story. And in the beginning, he kind of seemed authentic, a little bit sad, you know, at least, but now he's been like trying to play cleanup continually. And I'm like, I wonder if you were never even supposed to be in there. Because for me, that would track. So anyway, that's my little tinfoil theory. I thank you for, you know, listening to it, but that's something I've been thinking.
That makes complete sense.
Ladies,
now is he lying for anybody? Allegedly, I don't know.
I have to jet out of here to go. Sorry, all of a sudden I got a text. I got to go pick some critters up. So
she's a very good job, Mom. That's fine. Yeah.
Thank you so much for helping me with this stuff.
Oh my gosh, anytime. It's everybody helping together. So this has been wonderful. Thank you all for everybody who's been here, and I will talk to both of you ladies tonight.
Yes, and guys, don't forget to go and follow Miss Rio Gates. She's Rio Gates Show everywhere, and she's awesome. And she's streaming. She streamed this morning, guys, and she did such a great job. It was really awesome.
Oh my gosh,
follow her, please, because she's really, really great, and she's on top of this stuff.
Yeah, thank you, ladies, for being here. Allie, it was so nice to finally not just meet you, but engage with you. That's awesome. So y'all have a great weekend, but I'll talk to you too later.
Okay.
All right,
definitely.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Okay, I think I did that correctly. Look at like a professional. You know, we're getting there.
She was great help because I just needed some more help with the Colorado stuff, and because we weren't really looking at that where it came from, and we need to dig deeper into that. Why was it in Colorado, and why did it go to Utah and then California and back to Utah? It's just bizarre. It's very bizarre. And I guess they hauled it. Yeah. So this is Mike's metadata. Mike was in the chat. His name is Mike Scissorhands. I don't know if he's coming in, but this is, I don't know. You want to go over the pictures quickly? We can just
Sure,
do
yeah, that would
that.
be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit more time. No worries.
So when I did the first live stream, he didn't have these available for me.
Okay.
He did post it after on his page on his X account because some people
Okay.
weren't believing the metadata, but it's not his phone, it's his client's phone, so it does take time to get that. So you
Sure.
can see
Yeah.
clearly here the date, and this
On
is
and
all the
everything.
metadata.
Oh my goodness, location on and everything. Wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
it was taken. So where can you describe to me what the location is? And so where
Magna.
we would
It would
Magna.
be Magna, Salt Lake City, yeah. Copart.
Magna Salt Lake Copart. Okay.
It says it up
SLC.
there. Do you see it? Do you see it up
Oh,
here?
I do. Thank you.
Yeah, there.
So 10:45 a.m. See, that's what I'm saying about like evidence sharing and like, all of this stuff where we talk to each other. I really just think that it's a benefit to every person that is trying to figure out what happened. Right?
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing us a slideshow. You're amazing.
Yeah. I mean, and this is the Copart.
Copart.
And this
Okay.
is the where it was auctioned.
So it's an auction house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Auction. They were cleaning it. They had a hazmat company come in to clean it.
Yeah.
This is also just some history here. You guys can screenshot that if you want or whatever you'd like. You can obviously see here is the Denali here. It has the VIN number and everything. It shows the dates of the sales history here. And they took it out. And they took out the seat too. The back seat.
What on earth? I mean, because the thing is, it would be one thing. So this is so amazing because think about this. So if we had just seen these photos, so these are the only photos that we were able to find, then we would have thought that the FBI or SBI would have taken those seats out because they should be part of the evidence, right? Yeah. But instead, what we know is that it showed up to the auction house with those seats still in place.
Yes, it did.
So
that's a question I wanted to ask him, but maybe he wasn't a part of taking the seat out. But and here I think I showed you this too. It said salvage records here the 9th September 24th. It was reported as junk and salvage. And Rio said that makes sense. And I think you did too. They're just gonna write it, they're gonna write it off, is what she said. They're gonna write it off. And yeah, so hold on, what else we got here? Any
from
more
a financial
pictures?
perspective, but what I've heard anyway is that so often when there is evidence that the FBI or SBI intends to use in a case, then generally speaking, it takes forever for that individual to get their items back, right? I mean, I've heard of folks where they had a loved one who was tragically murdered, and then it took a year for me to get my dad's phone back. Oh, it took 6 months before I even was able to get my driver's license from a wallet. That is what is common and expected as far as I know in a major investigation. What if the idea that Erica has Charlie's phone, I'm just speculating here, and I actually don't think that this is true. But the argument that I would make in my mind is, so what if there were text messages between Charlie and Tyler Robinson? Like these people knew each other. Why would you give the wife's phone back to him? His phone back?
Yeah, it doesn't make any freaking sense. This is where I go, oh, I get my mind. Sometimes I need a break from all this because I'm like, I don't understand how they're getting away with everything. I really don't. This is them pulling into UVU, and this is where I had some people argue with this regarding this when I did a live stream on it. It says Christopher's phone. Now it has the map of UVU coming in. Obviously, I'm just showing you some pictures and has the time. I was hoping I would find the date, but it didn't show it. But in order to put into the maps, you need to plug in your phone. The only person that was driving in that car was Charlie, Mikey, and Frank, where Frank was in the back.
Frank was in the back.
That was driving, and the person that was driving, we think, we know, is this guy right here. This guy. He got out of the vehicle. We think it's Christopher. We don't know. We don't know.
Right. Okay.
We never found him. But you know, in order to plug this into your phone to do the maps, you need to
Right.
plug in your phone. So
Are
it
we
would
able to
say
tell
the
that it's
person's
not
phone.
Bluetooth connected? Are we sure that it's not? Because I know that, so like for in my car, I don't actually plug it in, but it will still say Anna's phone, but it's a Bluetooth connection. So do any of those little symbols up there mean anything about like whether it's, because sometimes it'll say if something is Bluetooth connected or not. Let's see here.
I don't know. Somebody told me that it is correct. Like in order to do the
Right.
maps, you need to plug in your
No,
phone
well, I
to
think it
do it.
depends on the kind of car that it is, but
Maybe.
it could be. So this is a GMC Yukon, right? This is information that we can run down, right? So does a 2025 GMC Yukon Denali come with Bluetooth map access? And we can also probably pinpoint what kind of map that is, because I'll tell you, it doesn't. Does that look like Waze? Can we go back to the map picture for a second?
Yeah.
Does that look like Waze to you, or does that look like it might be some? Because I've never seen this red. I've never seen something redded out that way. Do you see how it's like, like, or that pink color? Like, why is it pink?
I
Does
don't
anyone?
know. Maybe it's just I don't know, just the way
Is
it
that
is in
the
the
is that
car.
the vehicle's actual? So okay, so something to think
Yeah, so
about.
Charlie was sitting in here. People can go look at that video. It's like posted on my YouTube.
Yeah.
It's when he's heading into and he gets out and you see Butch Hibbs on the left and all the students that are helping. He's entering UVU and he starts taking pictures with everybody. I think
Yes.
even Mikey McCoy has that posted as well in his yeah, he does have that on his X somewhere.
I
You would
appreciate
have to go
looking
way
at
back.
this.
No, his Instagram. It's on his Instagram actually. Unless he
Okay, this is
deleted it.
my first time being able to look at these pictures like this, so I really appreciate the opportunity. I can't even tell you. So,
Yeah.
okay, so it looks like, so we're seeing the screen styles. What I can see in this is it looks like, is that a little GPS symbol? So those little symbols, they all mean different stuff. The way that I wonder if that is the GPS that is actually from the GMC Yukon. Do you know what I'm saying? Because all of these little
I
things
mean,
are like
when
little,
it's a video, so when they're pulling in, you can even see the map moving as they're going in.
yeah.
There is a
Yeah.
video of it, but I
So
had to enhance this to
it's perfect. It's so awesome.
get the name. I wanted to get the name just in case
Right.
because
Well, no, the name is good.
I asked Blake Neff, but he doesn't know who drove Charlie in. He said
Oh,
security. That's all he said. I think security. I don't know.
he's such a
Okay.
so like that's the thing. So like GMC, I would assume since it's a 2025, should have its own internal GPS system where you can go and you can just say GPS, put in a location, and you do not even have to have a phone plugged in. To me, that what's really just stands out right away when I'm just trying to do an evidence evaluation, like whenever I'm looking at something new, then I'm looking at it and I'm saying, well, okay, we can tell that the phone is plugged in because a man's name is on it, but this does not, to me, look like Waze. It could be, but it's not what my Waze looks like. And then it's not what Apple Maps looks like either. So I'm trying to think, because this is an iPhone, there's only so many iPhone compatible navigation apps. So that's why I'm trying to kind of
there
run it
was a
down.
person that actually had a Denali, the same, maybe 1 year younger or something, that told us, because we ran this down before, and they said, no, you got to plug your phone in. So that's just from somebody in the chat when I did it a while back. But
Sure.
oh, Tammy's saying yes. I don't know. Does anybody in the chat know? Let us know if that is Bluetooth or that is an iPhone. Yeah, it is an iPhone.
Yeah, we can tell that we can see Christopher's iPhone is what's plugged in. But something to think about is, so whatever map it is, whatever GPS it is that they are utilizing in this moment may or may not be from the phone itself. It might be from the actual car. And the only reason that I think that is relevant is because if it's from the actual car, then technically it could be someone who's sitting in any seat, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like it could technically, especially if it doesn't have to be plugged in and it is Bluetooth. I think I see a little.
And I could be wrong, like it could be, I don't know. I'm just saying that it says Christopher's, but I don't know I just want to know. I want to know who the freaking driver is, and I'm not correlating saying it is Christopher, but it's like a lead to something And somebody said GMC has their own GPS, but you can use iPhone and Android to use other GPSs.
Awesome.
Okay.
And also
Okay.
then it could be, so something else just to keep in the back of our minds as we're evaluating. I'm just trying to do like, this is like, whenever I get a new piece of evidence, this is kind of how I evaluate it. You know what I'm saying? So because you were so kind to have shown me this, I'm like, let me just walk through kind of what because a lot of what I do over on my channel is my goal is to have my audience feel empowered to do all of this stuff for themselves and to, feel like, okay, let me kind of walk you through the ways that I'm looking at this, because first of all, they are brilliant. And so sometimes they'll be like, oh no, think of this. Oh no, think of that. And then also they're like, oh, hey, I didn't really know that this was a thing, and then they feel more empowered to do it themselves too. I just want more people on the digital stakeout, the better, right?
Yeah,
So,
and different sets of eyes will see different things, right? And this is from a video too, guys. It's a screen grab from a video. Charlie, you can see him in the car on the passenger side. I did get a little bit of the driver, but I can't really identify him, and it would be nice to know just who drove him there. That's all.
100%. And what happened to that man? And was he part of the security team? And is he new or is he not? Because we do already have one ghost in Rick Cutler. So I'd like to know I would like to know who everyone is, and why wasn't he part of transporting him to the hospital? Why wasn't he? Why was there not a
secret? Like, what's the big secret? I don't know.
Well, I think it was what happened in the car. That's just me. But I think the things did not go to plan from the moment that the device malfunctioned. That's my estimation. I think it's really interesting, the idea that you have explored the option of some electrocution. I think that is a totally valid theory. I'm currently team road mic. You know what I mean? Team ID.
Yeah. I'm like, if anything comes in as new, I will definitely be team whatever. I just want to know what happened. I feel like some kind of electrocution happened. Yes, now it could be 2 or 3 things. I think something happened with the mic that he was wearing, and something else happened. That's just my opinion. I don't know if I'm right. Remember, he's surrounded by water, guys. You got to remember that too. Electrocution can happen. There's fountain. Why would they put the tech table right near water? That's not okay. That's not okay. So the grass was moist and wet. Why are we putting wires on top of the grass? Why aren't we elevating Charlie on top of a rubber mat? These are things that I talk to. It freaks me out, by the way. I got electrocuted. So anything with water. Would you put your child to sing with a microphone by a pool?
No, not at all. No. And by the way,
you would call an electrician to come check to do it properly. They have him right by water. And I'm not saying that's what did anything to him. You could just you can go under the tent, pull out the XRL cable, bend it, flick it, do whatever you want, put it back in, and do something over there is what my partner said, because he's in film and TV. And it could go through there too. It could be an electrical coming from the mic he was holding as well.
The mic that he's holding too, right? He has multiple microphones. One of them we know is laying flush against his skin. One of them is laying, directly into his hand. He's on a different stage. That's an unusual stage for him. That was one that he had not been on before, and it was much higher than any other than he'd ever sat on. So, okay. And what was the material of that actual stage? What we do not know. That's the thing, is part of it was metal, but we don't know. And so as far as thinking about things like grounding, things like water, it is definitely worth exploring. That's my thing, is that at this point, I want us to keep every single option in mind, because the only thing that I feel that I know is that he was not shot with a 30-06 from the top of the Losi Center by exclusively and only a transfer lover named Tyler Robinson. That's the only thing that I know for sure that I have ruled out, right? But every single other option has to remain on the table. Just because we have ones that we subscribe to or feel, and by the way, I do think, Ali, I really do think that it is very, very significantly possible that there was simultaneous methods. Simultaneous detonation is something that I've been harping on since I was I follow John Coleman, I follow the sheriff, and so
it was for me. By the way, he does good work.
Me too. Yeah. Me too. Yeah, I'm yes, I love him, and I know he was kind of out of things for a while, but his initial findings were talking about things like drones and things like, these Hades jets and all of that good stuff. And trust me, guys, it's like, if you guys have seen my stuff, you'll know that I do believe that those are absolutely potentially possible to have been simultaneous detonation. I mean, simultaneous detonation is something that is like used worldwide by various militaries, including our own, but most especially the greatest ally. And so simultaneous detonation would explain a lot of things. It would explain why we saw that little tiny guy. It would explain why we saw what looks like a laser, or some people thought that maybe it was a bullet. I thought that it was a laser, because I think a laser targeting system makes total sense. And so if you wanted to, I don't know, maybe make it so that someone was inert and not able to move, if you wanted to lock somebody into place, why would you not use something like taser-like technology or electrocution-like technology, both of which could have been
And
in
they
either
probably have something even better that we don't even know of.
100% they do. Absolutely. Yeah.
I think there was drones that day. This is the best picture that I ever could get of them flying, and you can't tell me that is a bug, because then I'll get really mad.
That does not look like it doesn't look like an insect to me. Also, by the way, there is extensive footage of, what actually appear to be military drones. I think that we had, actually, I figured out probably which ones they are. There was a, hybrid electric drone that was seen leaving the scene. That's the reason, how one of the big drones that goes up over the crowd has this little puff of smoke. And I know that John Coleman is looking into it a lot. It's a hybrid. It's a gas hybrid drone. And, they're very, I'm not making an allegation, but Anduril makes the same one in the same size. That's gas electric hybrid. And so when a drone needs to take off and zoom, because they have the option to be gas powered for a brief amount of time, they have a little plume of smoke. That's what happens, And so,
now, you saw Rick Cutler holding that, whatever. I don't know what he was holding. I know he's doing this, but I'm talking about what he was holding. Do you think he was gesturing something? Do you think he was?
So the hard part for me is thinking that there would be a willingness. Okay, I do not think that it was a pump pistol. To me personally, it doesn't make sense. I saw the little wireless mouse, what looks like a wireless mouse. And if that were the detonator or whatever, right? Basically the detonator for the shape charge or the electrocution or the cycle of both, which all you have to do is it's a multi-token system, and that will literally set off both the electrocution, that would set off the shape charge, and by the way, it could do a remote gunshot over the crowd a great distance, all exactly at the same time. That's how simultaneous detonation works. And it could be that Rick Cutler had the actual, it could be, because I think that was a wireless mouse. That's what I think is what he was holding.
He was doing something, because he wasn't being security. He was looking right at Charlie the whole time.
Right.
So I'm like, why is he there? He's not even,
Right. Well, my only question is, so the thing that I currently subscribe to, just for me personally, is the idea that I do not believe personally right now that the triggerman was in the crowd. Because I think, to me, remote detonation is what makes the most sense. I think that, if anything, my personal theory is that the security team would have been there specifically to be part of the cleanup crew, which is why Rick Cutler would, react like, oh boy, it happened. The thing happened, right? But my feeling has been...
You think he was acting?
No, I think he was surprised to see the thing actually happen that he was told was going to happen, right?
Okay.
So he's like, oh crap, if he knew that something was about to happen, but he didn't, know, then he looks and is like, holy crap, boys, look what happened, and then jumps into action because he has been trained to jump into action. But but my feeling is, if there is any way during an assassination to avoid having the actual responsible party there specifically on the ground, then in my impression, that is how a foreign state actor, a state level actor, would love more than anything to be able to perform. Because if you can make it so that there is not a single bad guy who is there, then that lets you have plausible deniability for no matter what happened. And you could literally have one of those drones could have been using facial recognition software, which is really commonly done, actually.
Right.
So, and it could go, oh, look, we are looking for Charlie. There he is. And, target acquired.
And maybe crowd recognition, maybe just monitoring the crowd, because they had big ones, small ones.
100%. I think that the data collection that was happening there was a part of the reason why those drones were there. I think that they wanted to geofence, they wanted to jam signals, and they also wanted to see, because imagine how much money it is worth. I mean, I hate to sound it sounds so gross just to say, but think about this. Imagine how much financially it would be worth to be able to observe the data from an American mass cash event on U.S. soil. We are so lucky in this country that that never happens, right? But there'll be like a shooting or whatever, and then people will run in different parts of the country. But if you could gather the data on how many people ran, right? Because if you're monitoring everyone and you're doing this data gathering, you could find out how many people ran, how many people stayed on the scene, how many people called 911, how many people went to a loved one, someone that they knew, how many people took off and drove away. And so that, when I think about the financial element, which is really dark and awful, by the way, I'm like, these people are evil, like, just so you know, but like, think of what a foreign adversary would pay to have that kind of information on what U.S. persons would do in an event like that. They would pay a lot of money for that. And so that's what I think the drones are for.
And this doesn't take a day to do either.
Right. And then you don't even have to.
It was really cool. I was talking to Kate. I'm like, okay, so in Colorado, the SUV was there in December of 2024. Now, if everybody remembers this in the chat, and if you remember this, Anna, Charlie wanted to get new security in December of 2024 leading into January. I just think this is very odd that the SUV is coming into the picture. And we'll go by timeline again. We're going to see where this SUV is coming from. Colorado, going to Utah, California, back to Utah. I mean, this is super. She's like, this is great information now, like, because it's just like, chain of custody, where'd it come from? And and Charlie being afraid for his life in December of 2024. There's a video out. I don't know if you've seen that video. Mike Fry video.
Oh, is that the gentleman who he was the old friend of Charlie's who he had contacted? Okay. Yeah. Will you tell the story again, just so that just to make sure that I'm tracking with it? Yeah.
So he's old friend of Charlie's, one of the oath keepers, as per se, and he said Charlie contacted him because he wanted to get new security, and he goes, why are you asking me? You can find anybody to help you get security, right? And he just wanted to meet with him and discuss it with him. And that day that they were supposed to meet, he had a neighbor move in. He didn't really know the neighbor. I don't know if it was a neighbor or a neighbor friend. I can't remember right now. But he got in a fight with the neighbor, and he was supposed to meet Charlie that day to discuss new security. And the person said, the neighbor was saying Charlie was supposed to be, I don't want to say the word, but terminated or whatever.
Right.
And they had a fight. Yeah, they had a fight, and he actually knocked the guy out, and he went to jail. So he didn't get to meet Charlie. So that meeting that happened, and then he said he got sick. He had pneumonia. He was in the hospital. So he said, we'll do the meeting after, but it never happened because obviously Charlie's not here now, but he came out and spoke. He said, I gave my information to the FBI. I gave it to everybody that he was afraid for his life.
He was afraid for his
December
life.
of 2024.
Interesting. And that's the Mike Fry video. Charlie was expressing fears for his safety back in, it's really just interesting when we're thinking about the timeline. I know my computer's lagging too much, but when we're thinking about the timeline, it does occur to me that the times that I started to see the Turning Point jet meet up with Air Mima was in November of 2024. Wow. November of 2024 is when those cycles of having the TPUSA jet pinging out to different locations, and then at this time it was on a every 45-day basis in November, but it was when it started. It was in November. It started pinging out. Then it would meet up with the Air Mima at some random location, and then Air Mima would link up with them and fly directly on to the Greatest Ally. And I've thought to myself, what could have prompted, what were they doing then? Is it possible that Charlie started to observe enough oddities that he was afraid for his life? I mean, it's just something to think about, right? That maybe something was going on, because that timeline actually feels a little bit like a fit. And then, as they started out with meeting them every 45 days. Then once Dawn was actually in the White House, then they went to every 30 days. And then in July, of this cycle of them doing this exact same thing over and over. And then in July, they went to a cycle of doing it every 2 weeks. And I think that they got too big for their britches. And then after he was gone, they started doing it every 8 days. And I
Wow.
truly, like, the thing that makes me
That's
so
great work. Yeah.
it makes me so sick to think about that if they wanted to complete the mission and get that done, whatever it was, once Charlie was eliminated, then they wouldn't have any trouble doing that. And they wouldn't have to wait every month or every 2 weeks. Then no, they think nobody's watching. Let's just go and complete the cycle of
I
whatever.
truly don't think that they thought it was going to go this way. I
Mm,
really don't think so. They thought he was going to be known as a martyr, and Eric is going to be loved, and the whole world's going to love her. And they didn't, think it was going to be a whole entire world
right.
coming together and seeing everything, all the cracks and the pieces not lining up, and not letting it go. Like, we're not letting it go. We
No.
want the truth.
Yeah.
Or else this will be another freaking JFK. This will be another person, a political person that'll be, assassinated or something. We don't want that.
Absolutely. No.
I just think it's just great. I think you're freaking amazing. I think everybody in the chat is amazing. I think everybody's doing this. It's just, I feel the power in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
It
Right.
just makes my heart feel so good. And I just truth for Charlie. That's why I'm doing it. That's the only reason I'm doing it. Can't get over it.
It's the silver lining is the fact that it has brought a lot of people together, which is a really great thing. And then you have the combination of individuals who are so invested in doing this and figuring out the truth and getting justice for that man, because it is unacceptable. This is an American, when I first heard about, my awareness of Charlie in the beginning, when he passed, I was not a fan of his. I will be the first to admit that I was not a fan of his, because I had always heard that I wasn't supposed to listen to him, but I had never actually listened to him, right? I would just listen to people telling me I shouldn't listen. And then he passes away, and I thought to myself, at first, I think I was like very flip. I was just like, oh gosh, whatever. But when I saw the video, right, I heard he passed away, then I see the video, and I thought, this is an American. This is my fellow American. I do not care if I didn't have a single thing in common with this man. He is my fellow American, and he was killed on U.S. soil for exercising his freedom of speech. That is unacceptable. I do not care anything about his personality. He is my fellow American. And I think to myself, I am lucky enough that I do not know the name of a single person who passed away on 9/11. I am so fortunate that I don't know anyone personally. I don't even know a single one of their names. But I can tell you is that most of them were probably wonderful, and most of them were probably as different from me as can be, right? They could have been just the biggest pain in the butt on earth. I'm sure a couple were. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to let my fellow Americans be killed on U.S. soil and not do anything. I saw every person, every military age male in my family went right into military service at that point. And my thought has been continually, there is no way that I'm letting somebody do that. And at that time I was just like, I don't care about Charlie's politics or any da-da-da. I just thought, no, you're not on US. You're out of your mind. I don't care. And so that drove me to be super passionate, because I'm not letting it go. I'm not letting it go. And I don't care how much they try to, make it seem like we're evil and demonic.
We just want answers, or we wouldn't be like this. I know there's other people on the other side that are attacking us as creators, trying to stop us and dox us and do all these things to us. It's just bizarre when we're just trying to. I'm not trying to do anything bad to anybody. We just trying to find out why. Give us the answers. Why was this happening? Why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why did this happen? We're not getting the answers. We're getting covered up and shut up, go away, move on. That's what it feels like. Move on. And I heard of one podcaster said this to Sean Ryan. Why don't they just shut up and move on? And I'm like, what did he just say?
You're out of your mind. You are out of your mind. And now I'm like, what's so crazy is I feel like the people that have really stayed on this, I know for myself anyway, again, like I said, when everything happened, I was not a fan of Charlie, but what this has done is this has forced me to listen to him out of his own mouth. And now I'm like, I love him. Now I wish more than anything I'd had the opportunity to listen to him back then, before I listened to other people telling me not to listen to him. And so it has changed how I interact with my fellow Americans, and how much I am able to understand that a perspective that is not mine is still likely valid, and oftentimes that perspective, like now knowing what Charlie was actually saying, I'm like, oh my gosh, you mean he was wonderful? Do you mean that he was actually like someone who I would want to marry my sister or whatever? You know what I mean? Like this
Yeah.
is a wonderful human.
I
And
think
so
we
like,
have a little bit of Charlie in us, and I never agreed with everything he said, but I loved his debates. I just really did. I love the fact that he did, most of these people, like even Erica, they all need a phone. He didn't need that. Everything was from his memory.
exactly.
He had everything memorized, guys. He
Yes.
could debate you and have it. Everything was memorized. I just think it's just phenomenal.
Well, and he also wanted the best for everybody. That was really my impression after listening to him. I'm like, he did want the best for everybody. And the conversations that he was having are incredibly important. The values that he holds are the same values that I hold.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it makes me sick to this point that I have to get to know him posthumously. And that sickens me. And that is on purpose by them. And it's unacceptable as well. So I'm like, you know what? We're not giving up on this. I don't care. I don't care about any insults,
He was
threats.
getting to the children, like he was getting to the youth. And I think maybe that was,
oh my gosh. Well,
like,
and wanting them
bothered
to
them, maybe. I don't know.
Right. Oh, how dare he want like normal American families? How dare he want people to find love and have a relationship with God and have a good, family? How dare he? What are we doing? Like the fact that this is one of the very few people who earnestly approached this topic and was relating to the young people in our country. So I hate that. And also, by the way, the other thing, the part where I just started getting my heart broken is because I learned that he loved airplanes too. I'm an airplane person. Charlie was an airplane person. And
there you go. You got a little bit of, you see?
Yeah.
And me, it's kind of like the memory thing. I just
one of those, huh?
I just have like a memory. So I feel like that's a little bit of him and me for that.
Right.
But I do gotta go. I'm sorry to say that.
No, it's totally fine.
One more picture. I have one more picture up on the stage if you want to put it there.
Yes. Okay, we'll do that and then we'll wrap it up so that we can make sure.
Not that one. It's the other one that's on the. Do you see it? I don't know if you guys can see it really clearly, but this is the picture of the last picture taken of him before
I'm gonna see if
it happened.
Hang on one second. I'm gonna just try something. We're doing it on the fly.
I should have sent it a different way, but
that's okay. No, it's okay. I wonder if we could close in on it. That's okay. No, I see it though. Describe it to me a little bit. Just tell me what it is that you're seeing.
It's just showing. It's Mikey took this photo. It's just showing his feet are on top of water bottles. I showed this on the Barron show. He's has a metal table. Dan's protected.
Dan's on
the table? Dan's on top of a equipment case on top, and the table's on top of the equipment case, and Charlie's just sitting on a metal legs table with a metal chair with water bottles and no protection on the ground. He's like right on top of the grass. And I just wanted to show you guys that because that's the back view. If nobody ever seen it, it's good to have.
Really important.
Yeah, and that's it.
Really important. It's fascinating. I'm like, guys, get your screenshots in. Anybody who wants to screenshot it, make sure we look cute. But it's an important photo, right?
It was really funny in the beginning. We all did the.
You know what? Keith, send me the picture. I'm gonna send it to you. I'll send it to you. Do you have time to do supers with me, or do you want me?
If they want me, I can. How is there many? I can help. Or if you want me to.
Okay, but I think it might be nice just in case there's a question, especially if there's a question for you.
Sure.
So, but what we'll do is I'll skip the gems. I'm like, guys, I don't know if the gems is something that you guys can see.
I don't know the gems either. Do you know what they do?
But I know that they're lovely and I know that they're a gift. And so I'm always like, I appreciate you. And I don't know what it means because I can see a word. Here, I'll give you an example. This is one that says clutch. And I think that they're talking about like a little purse. And I'm like, yay, I love that, but I don't know what it means. And I assume that if I was looking at the chat in YouTube, then I'd be able to see it. I think.
Yes.
I'm like, guys, someone tell me if that's what that is. But they're so cute. And
maybe you can redeem them. I don't know what the jewels are. I don't know anything about them yet.
Someone tell me what they are, but they're very sweet. So thank you. Thank you so much, guys. And you're so sweet. But okay, so based Zenial. Okay, cool. Why was Elizabeth L on Tucker propping up Vance? Well, based Zenial, I have not seen that.
I haven't seen that. Is that a new video that she did?
She was
on Tucker.
Is that true?
Propping up Vance.
I don't know based Zennial, so I would have to go and watch that. I watch Tucker pretty much every day, so I don't know. Well,
Forbidden
we'll get
Truth.
back to you. So hi, Forbidden Truth. Hi, Anna. I want to hear your July 18th to July 27th timeline. Yes, so we have definitely gone over that one in a couple of different live streams. With the July, that's August. Duh.
August. That's August. Yeah.
Sorry. So the July 17th through July 27th. July
Is that the
7th, or sorry,
Hamptons?
August. Why am I still saying that? Okay, so August 17th through August 27th. Well, I did make a note of that the other day, that August 27th does seem to be an important day, given that a lot of the individuals that we had identified being on Fort Banana seem to have also been concurrently Google searched in that area on August 27th, but that was web searches. So everybody gets web searched on August 27th, and then everybody gets image searched on September 8th. What does that mean? I don't know. And the fact that they were web searching them, not actually not image searching them, always made me think, okay, so they're looking up the individuals. This is when the meeting was planned, but then the meeting actually occurred on September the 8th, which is why so that's my thought for that part of the time frame. But for this part, I'm going to have to own like Forbidden Truth.
Also, the Hamptons was in there as well.
The Hamptons, yes. Hamptons, August 4th, 5th, is that
22?
right?
Wasn't it 22? Oh, I don't know. Can't remember that one. I thought it was the 22. When was the Hamptons? Gosh, I had that somewhere. Guys, when was the Hampton meeting?
In the chat, can you tell us, please? I think it was August. I think it was
August 24. Someone said. I thought it was August 20. No. No, that's something different. That's a security something. I thought it was August. Yeah, but August what, guys? August 22nd? Like, what day was it? Yes, August 25th. August 25th.
Was the Hamptons retreat?
It was the right? Where sorry.
Right,
the where call they had that meeting with that call. Yeah. With all the people on the phone, and that leaked on the internet. Remember that? Yes, he's going to leave the pro-Israel call. Yeah, right. The pro-overseas call.
Why is it I'm thinking that's August?
And Mikey McCoy was there.
Was he?
Too. He was at the Hampton meeting as well.
Mikey was at the Hamptons. Well.
Yes,
added to the list. Mm-hmm.
Erica was there.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Pablo Erica Bar.
Oh, so somebody said it was the week. I thought it was the 22nd. So the weekend from the 22nd to the 25th of August, the Hampton meeting. Yeah. And BB did call him when he was there, is what one girl is saying here.
So I know that it was at Bill Ackman's house, which is out in the Hamptons. I know that that's the one that has the helipad, right? And then he's just bought several properties around a compound. And so, right. So 22nd through 25th. I don't know why I have that in my mind as the 4th and the 5th. So I need to go and look and see what was happening on the 4th and the 5th, I guess. If it was on those days. Then I do know that I think that wasn't Andrew there, or was he not? Was COVID actually at the Hamptons meeting? Because I know that it was an intervention, right? Intervention that was taking place between.
I don't know if COVID was there, but I know Mikey was there, and I know Erica was there. Mm-hmm. And remember, I sent you that screenshot of who was there.
Me or?
Yeah, I did.
Screenshots. I need to go.
I think I did. It was a while ago.
Check Hamptons. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, my feeling has been that a lot of the planning, allegedly, maybe took place really ramping up over the summer. I think that it really ramped up starting around July, end of July. I think that in August, there were some opportunities for off-ramps. I think that, like that Hamptons meeting, is it true that there was an off-ramp available at that time? I don't know. And the reason that I don't know about that is I don't know if he could have changed the outcome of the circumstances, because if this is related to some sort of smuggling.
Now some people are saying it's August 4th. So, well, we have to get that.
We will get to that.
We'll figure it out.
We will find out. Trust it, guys. We'll find out. I know, because that's the thing, is it's hard to kind of keep everything straight. But what I'll say is I think that late July, I think that personally, to me, I think it was inevitable by late July, given the fact that they wanted to turn up the frequency of their meetups with Air Mima. That's my opinion. That's my impression. That's where I'm at right now. But things can change as time does. Okay. Oh, hi, Critter. Hey, we were talking about you. Like Critter with the K.
Yes, we were.
Critter with the C. We love her too. Yeah. Hey, you guys rock. Ali, I love how you pay attention in detail. Anna, I love your research. Rio, love how you bring the law. We love how hard y'all work and on this. Are working on this. Love this community. Heart, Kristen. Kristen, we love you too.
Thank
and
you
thank
so
you for speaking.
much.
That is so kind. I'm like, yay, do we do that? We can do that, right?
Yeah, we could do
You guys
that. Yeah, I do that all the time.
All right, good. I'm
Um,
glad. Sometimes I
And
hear
thank you
that
for
this.
the membership. I really appreciate that because it was on my other live stream, so I wanted to say thank you to her for that.
Yay. Thank you for doing that and for dropping. Yes, somebody dropped a bunch of membos. I'm like, guys, I'm not enough of a streamer to know how to say that in a cool way, but I saw someone gifted a bunch of memberships, so I was like, yay! Like, the more people in the Alley Files, the better. The more people
Yeah,
rocking up the digital stakeout, the better. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are so sweet. Anne Young, the demons didn't realize how many angels are getting together, exactly why they are afraid. What a wonderful thing to say. Thank you, Anne. That
yeah.
is so kind.
Well, me and you both been attacked by the same person.
That's true. That's true.
That's
And I'm like, let me tell you something, Sean. Nothing's going to stop us. So waste your time all you want, but you're not going to stop us. Sorry. You know, you'll have to find a different angle. Okay. Find a different angle because that's not doing it. So anyway, but I'm sorry that that's happened to you too. And I'm like, you know what?
It just
How dare
tells me it's the
over the
why.
target.
It just tells me that, okay, I see
Yep.
why you're doing this. It's because we're not attacking anybody, right? We're getting attacked. So I
Right.
see the why. Why are you doing this? There is a reason. There is a coordinated something happening right now to stop us. So it means that
Exactly.
I'm heading in the right direction.
Over the target. Yes, ma'am. Yes, you are. And the fact that they're freaking out, I always take little note. I take little note of the times that they flip out. I take little note of the times that they don't. And I also take little note of the times that they don't want to act like they're freaking out, but they still freak out. Like when they
Yeah.
deleted all of those Google searches, or when Andrew blocked me as soon as I figured it out, like or called him on some stuff. He blocked me, and then I started getting attacked by the other ones. I was like, "Oh, you're scared." Because I've been being a hater on him this entire time, just being a hater, just being like, stop being rude to Candace the whole time. But as soon as I was
you're just trying to figure out, the flight data. Like, what is so wrong with that? I don't understand.
Right. Well, I'm not like Andy, I don't want you to attack a pregnant mother. So please stop being a jerk. That's kind of where I've been keeping it. But as soon as I was like, Andy, why is it that you were being searched on Fort Banana with all these other people? Why is that, Andy? Why is that? And he was like, block, Whereas before I was being way more mean. I'm like, how dare you, And so
This is a public figure. We're not allowed to talk about it? This happened in front of our eyes.
Exactly.
And we're not allowed to talk about
this
it?
was, in my opinion, this was an act of terrorism on the American people. Because you did it in such a way that was intended to terrify people, to divide people, to absolutely wreak terror on the American public. And so that's why I'm like, no, this is the biggest one since 9/11. That's how I feel. And so I'm like,
I think
no.
it also it is causing a little bit of a friction and a division a little bit. But we have to come together. And I've been telling everybody that. I'm trying to everybody's starting getting spaces arguing. I go, guys, we need to
no. Yeah.
We can't be
come
fighting.
On. We're not doing that. We're not fighting with each other. We're just, guys, it's too important. It's too important. And it doesn't mean that we all have to subscribe to the same theories. It does not mean that we all have to all be like, oh yeah, it was this person. But I'm like, as long as you're on the side of things that you want to fix this, you want to figure it out, you want to know what happened, then in my opinion, I'm like, I will talk to anyone who shares that mission. These are our battle buddies, guys. And, like, that's important, So let me see here. Okay, we've got, Oh, that's an interesting tip. Thank you, Carmen Gadden. I love it. So Hanson Mortuary AZ declined to do a mock funeral. Correct. Yes, they did. That was so was that stop number 1, 2, or 3, Al?
That was the second one.
Okay.
So
and then he went to
Groff, then Hanson. Yeah.
Interesting. That's fascinating. Thank you so much, Renee. That's so sweet for a great panel of women. Thank you so much, honey. We really appreciate you. And I love your little, oh my gosh, wait, who's the baddie? Oh my goodness. Love that.
She changes her emoji all the time. She's great. Renee's great.
Really? Oh, I love that.
She had a horse before. I think are you the one that rides horses? I think maybe. I don't know. She's really great. She's all over the place. She supports so many channels. Like she's super.
thank you for supporting us, and thank you for supporting everybody, Renee. I love your name. That's so cute. I love that. Oh, okay. Original Titan says Candace has unpacked too much of her past for her to get a pass from me. Okay. Well, I'd like to speak to that. So here's the thing. This is an investigation that is taking place. Now, I love Candace. That's me. Okay. But when we are thinking about, just like I said, many of us did not know a single individual that died on 9/11. Many of us did not know the individuals who were firefighters on 9/11. Many of us didn't know the family members of people who lost someone on 9/11. However, it does not mean that we're not able to value their loss and what they went through. And it does not mean that we should not support them as, if nothing more, than our fellow American, because these are people that, or by the way, our fellow human. For me, I love Candace, and I only grew to love her after getting to know her throughout these months and months of very significant grief. And I feel as though we watched her grieve, and really that was very meaningful to me. Now, when I listen to her instead of the people who told me I shouldn't, then I do feel as though that is someone who I see eye to eye with on most things, really. But what I'll
She's putting
say,
herself out there. She's putting herself out there. Like, she's getting sued
yes,
from every corner.
yes, and
So.
she's also putting herself in significant danger, physical and emotional and
Oh,
spiritual.
someone said that you're reading that wrong. Everybody's reading that wrong. I mean Erica unpacking Erica's history, not Candace. Okay.
Original Titans. Thank you for clarifying, friend. I so appreciate you clarifying. Erica has unpacked two. Okay, now this one makes sense.
Okay.
Brother,
Yeah.
same. I mean, okay, right. Okay. So thank you for
Remember I told you that's why sometimes you got to read the chat?
Yes, you are so right. And you know what, Titan? Absolutely. And agree. And I don't think, exactly. I don't know where it is that you kind of landed on the whole, there's a problem with Erica thing. But I think that, the thing is, just based on observing her and listening to her, it makes sense.
I never did like a whole like background check of Erica. That's not what I want to do. I mean, she did it though. That's Candace's podcast, I can't really comment on what she's doing.
Yeah, and so the only thing I have a question about still to this day that remains for me is, are we thinking that Erica is a patsy, like a scapegoat, or is she I don't know that she's the mastermind. I guess that's what I've been trying to kind of work on, is like, what level of involvement are we talking about for these folks? Because I don't, so that's what I'm kind of, or is she totally innocent?
Or she could be compromised. I don't even know. Like, I was at one point, I'm like, gosh, is she compromised? Is she being like controlled? And then I keep hearing her again, and I'm like, no, it can't be, because she's just bizarre. It's outrageous. It can't be. Like, my mind is all over with her sometimes. But no, I'm not one to unpack Erica's history. I did look at a little bit of her, her modeling and stuff. That's public,
I did wonder. I think Pablo Erica Bar. It's like, we're saying that in jest, but it's not 100% in jest, guys. We are not saying that 100% in jest, because what she was doing in Paris at the same time as our favorite island boy, what her parents are up to. We have things to think about. Okay, Terrell posted. Oh, hi, Mossy Mosquito. Hello. Terrell posted on his Facebook a picture for Arivaca. I don't know what that is. Arivaca. Someone has to tell me how to pronounce that. Arivaca. I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Yeah.
That sounds right. Okay. Who was part of WASP. All right, hold on. We're writing it down.
Yeah.
Let's go in the notebook. Thank you.
Because I don't know that.
Okay, and thank you for the great work. Thank you so much, Mazi. We'll let you know. We'll circle back to that one. So thank you for the tip. That's really appreciated. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yay, Carmen. Thank you so much for bringing more people into the digital nice. That is so kind. I really appreciate it. And I'm thrilled that the more of us, stronger in numbers, team nerd, unite. Like, that's how I feel all the time. So thank you so much.
Memberships always are a great gift to give somebody. Like, it's such a nice thing to do. So thank you so much for giving that to her. That's really nice.
That's so kind. Thank you. And thank you for the super sticker. Hall of Fame, I assume, or is it Hoff? I don't know. But I like both. Hi, Bobby. Hi. Bobby Sigma. She's a sweetheart. And so she's awesome. And I see her. I love seeing familiar names, guys. You guys make me so happy. Yes.
And Who called that? Because I heard that the Daniel Merrill said that Cash Patel and Governor Cox called them to pave it over, gave the go ahead. So I don't know.
Hmm.
So bizarre, that
Have you ever?
interview. I don't know if you watched that.
I think I need. Oh wait, the paver emergency one. I think I did.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a guy named Andrew Bailey? Have you heard anything about a guy named Andrew
Yeah,
Bailey?
that sounds familiar. Yeah.
So I just because I'm hoping that you, as a smart cookie with a good memory, keep him in the back of your mind, because Andrew Bailey is the co-deputy director of the FBI who
Yeah.
forced out Dan Longina at the beginning of the year this year. He came in to replace him basically, and it's very interesting. So I found him in my Fort Banana searches,
Oh.
which is interesting. I know. And the fascinating thing to me is that he is somebody who he was the AG in Missouri in up until September 8th. He was the AG in Missouri. September 8th, which is the day of the Fort Banana meeting, he resigns out of the blue as AG. And then
What date? What did he resign?
September the 8th.
Wow.
And he's found in those Fort Banana searches. And then on September 15th, he accepts the role as co-deputy director of the FBI and replaces Longina. I've been trying to think about like the folks that are involved with decision making. Like, let's say it like that.
Yeah.
The folks that are involved with decision making. But it's very interesting to me, the idea that, what would be really convenient is if I had a private citizen that could maybe be, because for our actual federal officials, they have to tell you their schedule. They have to tell you their finances. It's supposed to be on a rolling 12-month basis anyway, but they have to report their meetings. They have to report their movements. They have to report so many things about themselves. But it's just a very funny week to have met with Donald Trump in Mar-a-Lago on August 22nd, gotten offered the role, then resigned September 8th, same day that your name was searched in Fort Banana for the meeting the next day. And then all of a sudden you are now the co-deputy director, where you kind of encourage Longina to not be
There's
disclosed
so many people involved in this.
There are, but I'm like, because you are brilliant and a genius and have a great memory, I just wanted to toss that out there, because it's a name that I think if you have it like in your mind and you see it again or you saw it, you know what I'm saying? That's why like the information sharing is good. But I have a lot of questions.
Well, I wrote it down.
Thank you. Hey, Mad Max. Hi. Thank you so much. This collaboration was outstanding. I could watch another Fire One. Oh, I could watch another. The insight and conversation is very welcome. Thank you so much, Mad Max. Thank you. Oh my goodness. And by the way, Mad Max, I have you on my list to add as a mod, and I'm going to do that as soon as I'm off of StreamYard and onto YouTube. So I'll do that. And so thank you. Yeah. I love it. Thank you so much. And I think I would love to get the chance to talk to Ellie again. I'm like, well, I'm going to talk to Ellie anyway, but like on stream, I would love the chance to get to talk to her again. She's so awesome. She's like one of my very favorites. I was like such a big fan. Oh my gosh. Like, guys, because you guys know I come from the high IQ outfit. That's like where it comes from. And I remember I've been watching Baron since episode 1. Okay. I was his 370th subscriber. I'm like, this is my claim to fame. Sorry. But it's gotten the IQ going. I call like there's gals in there that call themselves the high IQties. Love it. And so I remember Allie going on Baron, and I remember Allie sharing information with Baron, even like right when this things first started. And I was always like, that woman is brilliant. I wonder if I can talk, and so here we are. So I'm so thrilled.
Yeah,
so
isn't that so weird how we're all getting connected somehow, and everybody that's doing information online, we're all seeing each other and like helping each other, retweeting each other. It's just an enormous case that like the chat knows, because like we're all friends now. It's incredible.
Right. Hey, battle buddies. We're battle buddies.
Yeah.
That's really how it goes.
Yeah.
And I also have just had this feeling of like, it is going to take all of us. And I don't like the idea of this being entirely put on just a few people's shoulders. Like, the weight of having to deal with this. Candace said that, like, for Candace, I'm like, no, girl, you need your little army behind you. And guess what? Here we are, because she said the other day, she's like, now too late. They're playing whack-a-mole now. Well, yes, we are going to keep popping up, and they are going to have to keep dealing with all of these different angles. And I think that that's part of the reason why they make so many mistakes.
Man, if we didn't have her,
my God.
for her. Thank God.
Exactly. And I'm like, girl, we will hold it down while you go and have a little baby, and that is just fine. But darling, and no, and they better not even, I don't even want them to look at
The
her.
prego.
Yes, our prego. I know. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. Yes, I love it. So I'm like, don't mess with her. I'm like,
I have the widow on repeat. Do you hear this? I don't know if you can hear it.
Widows, the widow. You shall honor the widow.
It's Candace.
You shall worship the widow. I'm
She's
gonna
so
keep telling you the widow. You will see your biblical here. This is it. The whole
Yeah, I just have her on repeat because I love it.
I love it. That's so perfect. Yep, on repeat. Put it on loop. Absolutely. Yeah. Debbie, thank you so much. Hi. Hey, sweetheart. Hey, honey. How are you?
Hey, Debbie.
Love that. I love seeing familiar faces and hello to you, darling. Oh my goodness, Ali. This is so wonderful.
Whoa, that is so generous.
Jules, you are
Jules. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That is so wonderfully kind. I'm so glad. The more people that are in those files, girl, the better. Right? I love it. That is so wonderful. Oh, Kristen. Hi, Chris. Question from chat. Did you track flights in and out of DC this week? If so, can you share on it? So I did. Here's a few caveats. First caveat, 1, so they're on to us, right? And so what that means is they have stopped utilizing, I think, so they've stopped utilizing our primary turning point jet. They stopped utilizing it as soon as Barron started bringing it up. What I will say, though, is that there's other turning point jets. And I don't want to say it on stream. There's 9,400 people, and I'm sure a few of them are Andrew. Hi, Andy. Stop being bad. Be normal. I'm sure a few of them are Blake. Yeah, at this point.
For sure. Definitely.
So hi, Blake. Hey, Officer Melton. Whatever. But listen, guys, stop it. We can all see you. Put it out.
Untactical.
Oh my goodness. I'm like, I feel like I don't even know. I'm like,
he blocked me and then unblocked me. I don't know what's his deal.
He was like really rude to me, and I'm like, buddy, you better calm down. Officer Melton, friend of the show. I'm like, you listen. I feel like, you know how what is it that Tucker says about Donald? He says that man is clearly a slave, and just like all slaves, I feel bad for him.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about it.
That's a good one. I love that quote. Love it.
You know, yeah. Tucker dropped that one about the president. I was like, Tucker, exactly. So, you know, bud. But what I'll say about
I love you. You're hilarious.
You're hilarious. No, we're like, don't worry. Watch when we're tired. Oh, please, then it gets loopy. So, but I know that we've been on.
I know it gets like that for me. I know. My chat knows I get a little bit stutter. I stutter when I get tired. So I stutter.
It's cute, and I don't want you to have to do that. So I'm like, well, let me go through these more quickly. So, but just to answer your question, Crit, what I wanted to say is just know we're 10 steps ahead of them. You think that we haven't figured out?
We will.
Like, I don't want to say it's stream.
She will. Because she's the pro at that.
We're keeping an eye. I'm currently looking at about 25 to 30 any given day. And we track every day. Yeah. And we're keeping an eye. So I'm like, so guys, so let me do my best, Erica. Stop it. just stop. And then I can stop having to do this. Oh my goodness. I wish I could go back to so thanks, Craig. But yes. Short answer, yes. More on that soon. Anna, could you please also go live on Rumble? I would love to see you there. Thank you, Eyes Wide Open. I don't actually know what that is. Are you talking about Rumble? Have not figured it out. Put it on add it to the list.
I have it, but I don't know how to connect it to my YouTube. So if anybody knows how to do that, I don't know how to do it.
The only thing I know how to do on Rumble is watch Stu Peters. But it doesn't mean I shouldn't do.
That's all I know how to do.
I'm like, that's
I have like 2 videos on there. I mean, we can try. I mean, you know how it's hard, right?
Add it to the list.
How many platforms do you have?
I don't know. I have so I have the YouTube, and then I have Twitter, which is because I love Twitter. I love the asylum. I want to hang out in the asylum with all of my you know what I mean? Like I call it, you know what I mean? It is, isn't it, the asylum?
It is. If you go there, you're going to get retooled.
Yes. Okay. Well, listen, hold on. We're breaking through. I have my tinfoil on all the time in there, so they can't get me. Like, no, but I love Twitter. And then I just
wear my cat mask.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's perfect.
My
Yes.
Victor Marks, my chat knows this. Whenever Victor Marks talks, I wear this and I say I'm retooled.
I
Look,
love that. Oh my goodness.
we just bought it for Victor Mark. I
It's
swear to
actually
God,
very
I
cute.
didn't have this in my closet. I swear to you, because
I
my partner bought one too. Because
I
we didn't
love
want him to win in Colorado,
I'm
so we're
I feel like I'm hearing a lot of reasons why. Is that what you told the kids when those masks showed up in the mail? And you're like, these are for
I
Victor Marks
swear
as
to
well.
you. You can ask the chat. You can ask the chat. We said
Okay.
they're like, you should buy cat masks. Like, okay, we were online on my live, like looking them up. I'm like, okay. And we ordered it while I was live. I'm like, okay, I'll do it for Victor Marks.
You know what?
Yeah.
Bless it. Good for you, girl. More happy families. More happy families. That's all I have to say about that. More happy
Oh
families.
man. Yeah, we're funny on my channel. We just laugh. So they all
Good.
know. They use it for bedtime too. Oh, I don't know about that. Get crunked and listen.
Get
That's
crunk.
not
Thank
true.
you for saying it. Get crunk.
My
Thank you
bri-
for saying it
so
out
like
loud.
what we say on my show is like retool me, my bride.
Oh Lord. You know, my mother is watching this, just so you know. I'm like, my mother's one of the people that's watching this.
That's okay. But that's what
It's
Victor
fine.
says. He calls her the bride all the time. I don't understand what that means.
Does. I don't know. It's tough for me because I'm like, that's now here's the problem. Now I hate how much they put vehicle into the public discourse. I'm like,
Yeah.
please stop making the whole world say vehicle. I used to say car. And now I say vehicle because of that. Now, anytime I hear my bride, it's like something like it like causes a little malfunction in my brain.
It's not like you say my groom. So it's just weird. It's just weird.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So, Sierra, oh my gosh, I love Sierra. I just followed her on TikTok because I just learned about TikTok. Yes, we are there too, but we don't know what we're doing. So one step at a time, but I saw her on there and I was like, yay, because I love Sierra. Hi, Sierra. You guys are amazing. Thanks so much for existing and for disseminating love. Oh, I love
that's very sweet of her.
That is such a wonderful thing to say, and disseminating love like by like yourself. See, that's my whole like my little gang is all like girls need hobbies, girls are beautiful geniuses. The fellas too, gentlemen, you are welcome all the time, anytime. Yep. But I just have always felt like girls need hobbies, and if we put our collective brain power into being the FBI, then guess what? We're going to be the FBI. And gentlemen, we need
bring
you guys
a lot of crap to the table. I have to tell you that.
Ain't that the truth?
Us women bring a lot.
So. Yes, absolutely. And I'm like, you know what? And so I feel like there's room for everybody and all of that stuff. But yeah, I just love like encouraging young women to be like, it's okay if you want to love aviation data and absolute like, you know, and like and focusing all of your attention and learning on, you know, something specific and just having a hobby that is one that's not going to, especially those that are not going to be in conflict with having like a healthy family. That's for me. I'm like, those ones I get really excited about because I'm like, oh my goodness, because some hobbies, they can, you know, take you away from your family or from maybe finding your person, love of your life and all that good stuff, and being like a good spouse, which I think should be the goal for most women. But you can also have hobbies and also have things that you love and, you know, whatever it is, I just want as many people to find their passion as possible. And hopefully ideally make it things that do not prevent them from having healthy, happy, loving homes. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's my little neck of the woods. Let me see here. Oh, and then oh wait, I see one more. Maybe Arizona vacation boy. Are you eyes wide open? Are you the one who said Arivaca? Is it Arizona vacation? Is Arivaca Arizona vacation? Can you look at the chat, Alice, and tell me if it's saying is Ari vacay as in
I
Arizona?
forgot how it was spelled. The other one.
AR was spelled just like that.
Are you talking about the Terrell one?
We were talking
or is this a different one?
This was about Ari Vaca or Ari vacay. Oh my goodness, is that what that means? Here we go. Here it is. Look, Terrell posted his Facebook a picture for Ari. I thought it was Arivaca Ranch. Is it, which is part of, I'm like, I have this all written down just so you know.
I found it. It's a boys ranch.
What is it?
Arivaca Boys Ranch is in a residential treatment center and working cattle ranch in Arizona that provides behavioral and therapeutic programs for adolescent boys.
Interesting. And it's a
And what
treatment.
can you bring up that chat one more time? Like what did they say about Terrell?
Yeah, let's see. Terrell posted
Posted a
his
face.
on his
Okay.
Facebook. Oh, so did Terrell go there? Oh, sad. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not Terrell, but I don't want him to have gone through. I don't want anybody
So
to
he
have
posted a picture of the ranch. So I don't know.
So maybe he potentially. All right. Well,
Well,
thank you guys for the
we can
tip.
keep that in mind. So now I'll send that to you. Yeah, that's weird.
100%. Thank you for that. And Jules, thank you so much for sending people some membos. Thank you so much, sweetheart. That is so kind.
Oh, thank you, Jules. That was so sweet of you.
Adding to
She's a
this digital
sweetheart.
stakeout. She is a sweetheart. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love seeing folks that we know in here and folks that and a lot of new faces. So if you guys are just meeting Allie for the first time, Allie is Allie Top Files, and she is a genius, as you can tell. And she is a beautiful genius. It's the truth. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't believe in not saying it if it's the truth. Allie is absolutely a brilliant, beautiful genius. And so that needs to be recognized. And she also has super fun lives. I sit and hang out at them. I'm always
they're kind of funny, eh?
They are fun. They're really fun. And she has like really, really cool lives that like people can go and talk about stuff. She had Stu Peters on there the other day, guys. It was really cool. And she has Mitch Snow on there sometimes. I know. And then Stu came right in and gave her a compliment and was like, Allie, you're doing awesome. Hello. I was like,
I couldn't believe he was there. I'm like, what are you doing here? Wow.
That was sick.
He's a solid guy.
Yeah, right. He's a truth seeker, he's a truth teller, and he's really, really smart. And so I'm like, how awesome. And then for him to like come into Allie's side, like, hello, so sick. And then also Allie she's on all the platforms, but she's on YouTube. So if you guys have not hit subscribe for my girl, I'm like, you know what? We're gonna do the plug. I'm trying to learn how to do the plug a little bit better. Okay. We're learning, but you know what? It is important that we meet as many people in this community and in this crowdsourced investigation as we can. And, people that are working really, really hard deserve that acknowledgement, that recognition. And I'm like, this little lady right here, she deserves it. So she's on there.
Yeah, and same with my chat. You got to go follow her. I put your link in my description, but
thank you.
I know I'm going to be a little bit faster than Anna. I'm going to put it right in the chat right now.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to put her YouTube in there for my people that came here. Go follow her. Go follow her.
I'm on all the platforms as Ana Escobar Show. I don't know, because I was watching Ian Carroll show all the time, and I was like, oh, I'll just make Ana Escobar Show. Like thinking that was, just what people did. Yeah. So yeah, Ana Escobar Show everywhere on YouTube. I am trying to do more of the lives because I love actually being able to talk to the folks. They're so warm and wonderful and awesome. So it just feels better. But I do some pre-recorded stuff, and then I'm on X, Insta, just got a TikTok. Which
oh man, TikTok is hard. Well, I've been trying it. It's like it's so many platforms, guys.
It's so much, and the hard part for me is I always think to myself, well, I don't have my attention span is not right for that platform, because then I go, well, wait a minute, and then I go chasing like one person will do one interesting video, and then I have to go and look up all the stuff about the one thing. So now I've watched one video, I'm already off. But I love it for like, oh my gosh, Sam's fam on there. My girl, I love her. She does great breakdowns. So like, and like I see Sierra on there, she does awesome breakdowns. So I'm like, okay, I get it. This is cool.
It can be done. But some of my other friends said that you can get shadow banned because if you talk about Erica Kirk too much. I don't know if that's true about TikTok, you guys. I'm not a TikTok pro. But
well, that's the thing. Like the shadow banning and stuff, we know. We already know. But that's why I use Algo Speak. I'm keeping Air Mima, guys, by the way, just so everybody's tracking. I am keeping Air Mima forever. And also our delightful, lovely Rio Gates, our little gal, our little blondie poo that was just here. She is Rio Gates show. I'm like, darn it. Yeah, she had to go be a good dog mommy. But she's so awesome, super knowledgeable, and she is wonderful. She is on Twitter and she is on YouTube. So go follow her too, because like I said,
she was great today. Yeah,
she's awesome, and she's just like that. I love people that are just like, yep, let's talk about it, and she's on top of it. It's she and I both. We only started doing YouTube stuff recently. I started my channel in May. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we both have been investigating it since, like I said, I think I started September 12th, and I think she's right there with it too. And I know that you've been on it the whole time too. It just takes a lot to just come on camera and be perceived.
It is because, you're showing your face and I was kind of behind the scenes. I wasn't really doing this, but people are like, you gotta do this. Ian Carroll's like, you gotta do this. I'm like, well, I'll try it. And then I only tried X at the time. And then it was almost like I was getting frustrated. No one was showing what I wanted to share. Like if I gave it to a YouTuber, they wouldn't share it. I'm like, oh. So I just did it myself. Like I had so much information. Like, what do I do with it? And I told you, I do the slideshows and I present it to my audience and they love it. So yeah, you should do that too because you have so much information. Just put it on a big.
Listen, I have the guy with the red string. That's me. Yeah. Oh my God, guys! I have a whiteboard. Stop! I have a whiteboard. I'm not kidding. I'm like, and you will never see it because it's so embarrassing because it literally is full of everything, and I write in different colors, and so that's how I organize it. But I use it to keep myself organized. It's that's like cool. Because I used to just in work and professionally and stuff like that, you got to keep it organized and you got to have everything arranged. So I'm going like section by section, and I'm like, but the problem is I need the red string to really make it work, don't I? Like I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm in a dry erase. Oh, please don't even get me started. We love it here, but it helps you get organized. I've been, because I was investigating like aviation stuff for a long time before that. And so I kind of have a system. Red string soon. I need a little cigarette hanging out of the mouth, a little button-up shirt, My spirit animal. That's my spirit animal. That and Kurt Metzger.
Oh my gosh. Jeannie is so amazing. She's putting all your links in the chat.
Jeannie, thank you so much. Jeannie is one of my incredible mods.
And all the mods that you got, they're all awesome.
Thank you so much to the mods that are helping us. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much for being part of supporting the mission, all of that stuff. You guys are so wonderful. I'm like, I feel like I can do this because they're in here. You know
yes. We can focus while they're like, getting the chat fired up and putting the links in there, controlling the bots or whoever comes in that it's, they do everything.
Yes, they're pretty amazing. And they're so amazing and wonderful. And you guys are so awesome. So thank you so much for supporting it. And guys, start harassing Allie Chop Files now to make it so that she will come back. So that she will come back and make it so that she will create another one of these. Because I think that having kind of like some roundtables.
Yeah.
Feels like a good thing.
Even if it's like, I don't know, 3 times a month or twice a month, it doesn't matter. We recap. Yeah. We'll recap whatever I found, whatever you found, and we do another one of these. It's great.
Absolutely. I think it's so great. And then we can, keep the more smart people in a room, the better. That's how I always feel. And I'm like, between us, Rio and the audience, hello? Like, between us in the chat.
Fire.
This is Team Small Potatoes, Team Smart Cookies.
I think you are such a delight. You're so intelligent with all of, I could not even, I tried to do flight radar and I couldn't even, I don't know. It just gave me anxiety to do it. It was just too much. I just saw too much at once. I'm like, where do I start? Like, there's too much stuff here. Like, how do I track this? I tried it in the beginning. I was doing the Google stuff a little bit. I love that. But no, didn't want to do the planes. Didn't want anything to do with that. I'm like, I will do something else, not planes. Yeah. So I have to say, it's not for everyone. And you're doing incredible work. And
guys,
you're so happy. You're so joyful. I love you. You're amazing.
You well, you know what, I love you too. And I really do mean that. And I really do think that, when it's tough and when it's hard and when it's awful, then we're going to get through it together. But every moment that isn't painful, I don't want to treat those moments as painful because I want to have joy, as much joy as we can, because we save that up for when S hits the fan. And that's just who I am. I'm, medical background and stuff like that. It's not always going to be nice. It's not always going to be fun, but we should have fun every minute that we can, because otherwise, then we're all saved up for when it gets real bad. So thank you for being such a warm and welcoming person. You are an inspiration to me. So I love it. And thank you. And go see that hubby and get that little kitty mask out.
thank you so much for having me, and thank you, chat. You were the best. Till next time.
Love you,
Roundup.
chat. Okay, now I'm going
Bye.
to try to press the button so that it says bye
Yep.
to us both. And then we're going to see, and then we just hold our position so that, it actually ends the stream. Cross your fingers for us, guys.